Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists. Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralists.
up.
F around and find out.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what. Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
All right, it's great to be back with Ravana and Dan from the internet. Another week. Oh wait, what are you three doing here?
Yeah,
it was back.
It was a very good show last week. I thought that we wouldn't be welcomed back because you all held it down. It was very, very good.
I watched like 10 minutes.
Might have been the best left.
It was good when I watched.
Yeah, of all time.
Yeah, same.
I watched until the almost super chats, but it was good.
Oh man,
it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 4-hour stream.
I appreciate that.
Very
4-hour stream. Wow.
I'll check it out a little bit. Yeah, we reached almost the limit of our cloud storage on StreamYard. I had to delete some previous.
Oh really?
Every week it's like we're touching that border, but
yeah.
I mean, like, if Matt Binder's on a stream, it seems like it's a guarantee it'll go at least 4 hours. I can't
You
help
have the
myself.
endurance.
that appears to be.
But wait,
the case.
Lance, don't you do long streams every single day?
Well, yeah. It's on Thursdays. I break it up into 2, so I guess I am going like sometimes like 6 or 7 hours, or sometimes 8 hours, depending on how long we go.
That's
yeah,
all,
but are you on till midnight your time? I'm guessing
No,
you're not.
no. I usually get off at it's like 9 here, and over there it's like 3 hours ahead, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Matt Binder. Exactly.
Yeah, by the way, Rebecca should be here soon. She gets off of work like relatively close to the time that we start. So odds are it's traffic or something. And also
you didn't even give me a chance, Mike. I was going to be like, I see a few people asking about Rebecca in the chat. Just want to say, folks, we got some more bad news for you.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Gotta cut another character.
Hey, she's here now. I'll add her in. I assume she's ready. Ready?
Awesome.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Rebecca.
We just went live, so you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hey guys, how are you?
Just
Doing
being
well.
Good.
We missed everyone last week, by the way. It
I
was
know, I missed y'all too a lot.
it was weird to not be here on a Thursday. It felt very out of place.
True.
Yeah.
I actually kind of missed the show, which surprised me. So it's good to be back.
Well, fuck you too, David.
Yeah, I was like, it's good.
Why did it surprise you that you stop?
No,
playing.
I enjoy doing it. Just by the end of it, I'm always like really exhausted.
Oh
but,
yes, till
I miss being
10:30.
exhausted, so I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Crazy time, but yeah, we're here.
I got Red Bull today, so
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
There you go.
Nice.
Just good old water today. No
Same.
kombucha, just some good old water today.
Yep, just water for me. We have a guest, by the way. Zaid Tabani is going to be here around 6. He's currently in traffic, but he is our guest for tonight and return guest. So, yeah, excited to have him back on as well.
Letterhack too, right?
6 o'clock. Where are you? Is it 6 o'clock?
Letterhack is next week.
Yeah,
Oh,
on the West Coast.
Letterhack.
Yeah,
Oh, you're on the west. Where you at? I never. Where are you?
In Portland, Oregon.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that's where you were. Look,
Yeah.
I met him
you guys.
there. I was in
Portland,
Portland.
Oregon.
Yeah.
2018, I think.
2018,
I think it was
2017.
2018.
Okay, yeah.
2018.
Man, that was a long time ago.
That is a long time ago.
We were just young lads, and now look
We
at
had
us.
a nice lunch.
Yeah, it was great actually. Yeah.
Oh wow, was that the only time you guys met?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're completely different areas, right? I mean, I'm in Toronto,
you're in
basically.
Canada.
Canada's a big country too.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you're on the other side of Canada too. Like you're further away than Lance. So Lance and I are probably closer than I think
I'm
everyone
on the
else.
West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm on the west
Yeah,
side.
you two are pretty close, actually.
Yeah,
Probably
West
like a
Coast
2-hour
is
drive.
West
I've
Coast.
partied in Portland. I love Portland. That's an
Portland's
awesome
great.
place. Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, I didn't know you were here. Like we were so close, but yet so far away.
Okay, so Matt, where are you? I mean, you don't gotta
I'm
give
in
us
New
your full
York.
address.
I'm in New York City, baby.
Oh,
That's badass.
okay. Well, that's nice. New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to live there.
that.
I lived in Brooklyn for a few years after my undergrad. So, what a time.
I lived in Flatbush for a little while.
Okay.
Did
yeah,
you?
Okay. Flatbush.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved Flatbush. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
When I first visited, that's where we stayed at an Airbnb. This is like 2017 maybe, but it was New York actually really surprised me. I thought like I'm a guy, I don't love crowds really, but so I'm like, New York's gonna be a little too much. Honestly, I could live in New York City. I am like I was stunned how much I enjoyed being there. It's such a great city, and
I'm picturing David now standing in the middle of Times Square with that song, New York, concrete jungle.
No, that's
camera going around him.
I think that when I first got to New York, my first day there, first of all, I was in the wrong outfit. I moved there in 2012, right after graduation for my undergrad. I had on heels, one little bag, because my parents were like, girl, if you move to New York, we are not going to support. Like, we're not supporting that. You're going to be on your own. And I'm like, I don't care. You know, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So
I got dreams.
I had, right. I had on heels, one little bag, because I couldn't, just one little suitcase small. And then I'm like, where do I go from here? Took a taxi, weird, went on a subway. And then my friend, the subway smelled like pee, and that was something crazy.
No.
And then I didn't want to. I'm a Florida girl, so I didn't want to hold on to the pole thing. And I'm like, does anybody have a napkin? Honey, the subway don't wait for you. The train don't wait for you, because it started to go and I started to fly. Okay.
Oh no.
On the 3 train. Okay. And then finally I get off and I sing to her. I'm like, New York. And she was like, girl, hang it up. And right, I think 10 minutes later, like it was just somebody peeing on the corner. I got super sick within 10 minutes. I don't know what was going on. I broke out in sweats. It was all wrong my first day. But I ended up getting to the culture, and I lived in East New York, which is like the hood of Brooklyn. I don't think it is now. There was a lot of gentrification that was happening, but I lived in the hood. But it was nice. I had fun there. So
Wow. Well, I'm gonna be actually going on October 20th with my friends Miles and Peter, so I'm really excited.
Oh hell yeah!
Gonna visit Queens now, apparently.
What? Wait! You're coming to New York?
With my friends Miles and Peter, Spider-Man game coming out.
You guys should do
based
like
in
a
New York.
live IRL.
I was hoping somebody would pick that.
I didn't.
David, that one was for
what
you.
What are you doing to me? I'm
I was
not in the
thinking,
mood
wait, Miles. It sounded familiar. I'm like,
doing?
what? I'm like, oh yes, of course.
I mean, I'm in Queens. I'm born, raised. I'm always gonna
Like-
be in Queens. So for you to say that you were
Yeah.
coming to
I'm always gonna
Queens,
be
that's all I heard,
And
baby. I didn't hear
they're-
Miles and
They're
Peter.
putting Queens
all I
in
heard
the
was
game now.
Well,
all I
was
heard
just
was
thinking,
Mike
like-
say "coming to Queens," and I was like, "Spider sense is tingling."
I was just thinking, wait, you hate flying. You never fly. Why would you fly to New York? I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, I've
I'm
never heard of
web-slinging,
Miles or
baby.
Peter.
you don't like to fly, Mike?
No, it's not necessarily the fear of heights. It's the claustrophobia for me. So I even have issues in cars, like traveling long distances and whatnot as well. I could if I got like zanned out, but yeah, I don't like it.
Understood.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I hate flying too. Like, I enjoy traveling, but I want to like teleport there. I don't want to
Right.
take a plane.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Being on a plane for
Mike, take a plane. Just get over
long,
it. Just get on a
scary.
plane and just get over it. It's no big deal. It's
for
you.
you,
Plane. Yeah,
Matt.
you know how many flights there are?
Going
a day?
on, it doesn't make you get over it, really. I mean,
But you have a higher
Yeah.
odd
Been
of
on many
dying
planes.
on like a car. Like you have a higher odd, I think, dying just like crossing the street. Than you
Oh
do,
yeah,
I think,
yeah.
on a plane on a regular
Planes
basis.
are
Oh,
actually
yeah,
extremely.
I'm
Yeah,
not
same.
afraid about dying at all on a plane. I'm afraid of the claustrophobia for it. It's all
Oh,
about
okay.
being in the enclosed
Oh.
space and not being able
Gotcha.
to leave. So yeah, it's something that I've been working on off
Yeah, that
and on
sucks.
for a
Take a
decade.
short
uncomfortable.
flight. Take a short flight somewhere to sort of slowly get
Just
yourself
guns.
into the mode.
I mean,
You know?
so when I was commuting to a job that's like an hour away. It took me probably like 3 months to get over it. Like every day, panic attacks driving in the car, and then finally I was over it. And then you don't do it again.
Yeah.
You kind of like snap out of it.
Wait, you can't even go in a car?
Well, I can go in a car,
For a
but if it's
long
really
period of
long,
time.
then I
Yeah.
get super antsy. I've got to be drugged up and shit like that. I have the drugs, but not the good ones to fly. So
Yeah.
that's a different story.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Watch, I'm gonna convince Mike to
Yeah.
go on a plane, and he's gonna finally go on a plane, and it's gonna be a scenario where like, and as the plane crashed down, he thought,
my
Oh my god.
That's why you don't take a short flight, because you got the small planes, and the small planes are the tricky ones.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't go. Okay, I'm not acting like I'm Mr. Bravery. I'm just talking about regular, air travel. I probably wouldn't go on a small plane.
No, I would
they're
not
not
go
as safe. Yeah, they're not as safe.
Well, I'm not worried about like the safety element. I think I'll be fine statistically. It's just like I could do it. It's just it's like, oh, this is gonna be really uncomfortable, not just during the flight, but the lead up to it, the anxiety. I've got some problems, folks. I'm trying to work through, but it's not gonna inhibit me from doing what I want. I just don't have a reason to leave because I'm kind of a homebody anyway. Right? Yeah. So, but I will be visiting New York nonetheless.
And you got
get
here. Have you guys met?
I've not met Matt, no, or Lance.
Mike, just wait about 70 years, and we might have high-speed rail that takes us from from the West Coast to the East Coast.
That might be a problem.
If it wasn't for Elon Musk and his bullshit,
say,
maybe there'd be public investment into rail.
Wait, you couldn't do trains either. You could walk around on those trains. They even got like little restaurant carts and stuff.
The trains aren't as bad. Like I went on Amtrak a few years ago. It wasn't as bad, but it was still a little bit like, man, this is. I'm feeling a little bit claustrophobic. It depends if there's a lot of people there. Like if there's more people, I'll feel more claustrophobic as well.
Yeah.
It's just it's one of those weird things that's kind of hard to explain.
No,
it's
it's something that I get it. You
It's
don't
not
have to try to
logical, but you
explain it.
feel
It's a
it.
thing that you
Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
What about a Zeppelin, Mike? What about a Zeppelin? Can you do a Zeppelin?
That would probably
historically.
What is a
It's not a great
Zeppelin?
track record, those. Yeah.
Giant blimp that catches fire eventually.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
a giant blimp filled with helium. Here's an idea. Why don't we put a combustible gas as our fuel source? It's like when you look at it in hindsight, it's one of those things that's like that's just an absurd idea from the ground on up, but we did it. And
It looks
If you
cool.
ever look at pictures, it is crazy that was like until the Hindenburg. That was like actually a way that people. I mean, it wasn't super common, but it was actually a thing people used.
It was a
People were
method of
traveling
travel.
by those things, the balloon thing with the fire.
Yeah,
in the middle.
until one exploded.
Not a blimp, but Zeppelin. You don't
Sorry,
confuse the
Zeppelin,
two because
yes.
Zeppelins
Okay.
are like you. If you see a picture of a Zeppelin for the first time,
So
you're
I'm
gonna be like,
Googling it.
"How the fuck did that thing fly in the air?"
Yeah, it doesn't
It's so
look
big.
Yeah, it's so insane.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
Hydrogen.
Yeah, they still have blimps.
Hydrogen.
Yeah, they're not.
Oh,
Blimps
what
are not
the
Zeppelins.
hell?
Hydrogen, not
No.
helium. No, much worse. I was very wrong. Sorry,
What the hell
hydrogen,
is
not
that?
helium.
Yes, yes.
Much
That's
worse.
scary.
Much worse.
Yeah.
very scary. Yeah, no, it's supposed to be a huge fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine we were traveling around on those though. Like imagine
It
that was
looks
the
like
whole.
a little submarine.
Like imagine.
it's not little.
It'd be very
Well,
slow,
yeah, it
wouldn't
looks
it?
huge,
It's
but
less
it
slow air
just-
travel.
Yeah.
It's giving
Yeah.
submarine vibes, and no.
It had like little cabins
Yeah.
and a dining room, and it was pretty crazy.
Apparently.
I couldn't.
It
I
looks
could
too
never-
heavy for the air.
Yeah,
You
it
know
just
what?
doesn't
I
look
said-
like it should. It's unnatural looking. Like it just
Yeah. I
said-
intuitively feels wrong.
I say we give Zeppelins another try. I think we bring back Zeppelins.
Yes, Max.
Just try different gas.
Laserdisc
Maybe we try
Zeppelins.
helium this time.
Yeah.
Our guest is here. Should I bring him in?
Yes, so we can.
I don't know.
work.
This is a heavy conversation. I don't know. If we
Yeah, it's pretty
interrupt.
heavy, but we'll bring him into the
Yeah.
Zeppelin conversation here.
All right.
I have always wanted a
Zeb.
Zeppelin personally, so I feel like I'm in good company. First
What a
off,
time to drop in.
hi everybody.
How have you
How are
been?
you?
Good.
I've been doing good. I'm in the new Mortal Kombat game.
I
What?
just saw
rapping
that.
at the- yeah, so I'm
Wait, you're in the
rapping
game?
and yeah, I'm rapping the end credits song in the new Mortal
What?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
That's amazing.
you guys didn't tell me we were having a celebrity on the show
Wow.
today.
Shut up.
Oh, Matt's gonna get all weird now.
Kombat
Matt
1.
acts so weird around celebrities. He's like so two-faced. He's a different person.
First off,
Don't.
First off, Matt,
start.
you have so many Twitter followers and you don't follow me. So like every time I like try to respond and have a conversation with you, I'm just not.
Oh, I don't.
You're
see
you're
All
here
right.
and I'm here.
Don't feel bad.
I'm looking at your. I'm looking at it right now. Finally, can confirm.
Wait.
Yeah.
We were on like
Wait,
episode 7. Can I just
Rebecca's
say we were on
being
episode
polite
7 of
and
this
proper.
podcast until Matt Binder followed me. So don't feel bad.
You weren't able to tell
host.
anyone that
But
you were
Matt is
rapping in the
Hollywood.
Mortal Kombat game till yesterday. You had to.
No,
save
I
that?
wasn't. Like the game came like
Embargo.
half came out. Yeah,
He's
half
embargoed,
came
yeah.
out like last week, and then like I did like a lyric video for it too, and we gave it to Warner Brothers, and then they were just like, okay, just wait till we release it, and then they didn't release it on the release day or like the early release day, and so just me and the other musicians are just like, when the fuck is this coming out? And then they released it and didn't tell us. And then, like, as soon as they released it and didn't tell us, we were just like, all right, we're just gonna like go out and it's not their fault. Like, it's just whenever you're working with like big companies for this kind of stuff, it always like there's always like communication and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm doing that. If you play Mortal Kombat and go through the story mode or through Tower, at the end of it, I am rapping.
I gotta ask.
I'm
did
rapping.
you?
That's
Did
so
you,
cool.
In this song,
Throw
did
that
you
out.
have the opportunity to lay down one of those Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
You did? Oh my god, that's
I got
awesome.
I
Now
got
that is cool.
I got
That
the
is cool.
Test Your Might in there, and I got the Mortal Kombat. And then I think they cut my Mortal Kombat scream because they got like an actual like metal head screamer to yell like Mortal Kombat. And then but my Test Your Might is layered in there with like 19 other Test Your Mights.
Nice.
And then I'm rapping, obviously. You know,
so you
I'll
have to
take
introduce
that.
yourself. Like, you have to introduce yourself to everybody
Yeah.
who's watching, because everybody knows.
Oh,
you.
of
This is
course.
my first time meeting you, but our audience who doesn't know you, introduce yourself.
Yes.
Hi. Well, my name is Zaid Tabani. I host a show called Freestyle the News. And every week I take all of the news stories that you hear and are, kind of privy to and depressed by, and I wrap them up into a 1 to 3 minute freestyle rap. And it's a bop and it's a song, and we try to put them on Spotify afterwards, and then I do a little bit of a breakdown. But I do that every week. I started on the Philip DeFranco show for a little bit. I also do music for fighting games like Evo and Street Fighter and now Mortal Kombat.
And you were
stuff like
topping
that.
the charts with your Evo.
I thought you were just like, I
Yeah.
thought you were saying that as a little joke, because we just were talking about the Mortal Kombat one, and that was like the one game that you did it for. You've done music for multiple fighting games?
He
Yeah,
did
I'm
the Evo
noticed
soundtrack.
He spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spoke about this last time he was on the show.
I don't remember anything, man. Are you kidding me?
I'm
I can't remember what I was talking about on my 4-hour live stream just yesterday. I'm gonna remember
4 hours.
20
I did,
streams ago.
I did the music. I do the music for Evo every single year, and this year, Street Fighter 6's first year, we did a song called "Run Back City," which did crazy numbers, and like we had sold out the Michelob Ultra Arena for the finals, and we got like 12,000 people standing and singing the song and everything. It was really, really cool. So yeah, man, I do music for fighting games, and come on the podcast and talk shit about fucking grifters, and it's the best. It's my life.
I love
Yeah,
that
that's
for
awesome.
you. And now I'm gonna follow so I can listen, because this is my first time hearing of you. So I think this is great, and I would love to hear your stuff, because it sounds like you got a lot of confidence. So that means that you do real well. Okay. So
either you're gonna be really excited or like supremely disappointed.
no.
So
I
Nah,
feel
she won't be
because I already went
disappointed.
on Google to see what the people were talking about, and it's pretty good. So
It's amazing.
Thank you.
You know what's funny is that I realized, because I was watching him before we brought him on the show, and on one of his Freestyle the News episodes, an Ole tweet made it into the news. So I showed him, like, oh my god, Ole made it into Freestyle the News.
Got all of us
I
addicted.
love that.
Yeah. And then he came on. So yeah, happy to have you back.
Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun last time, so I'm excited to come back, and it's really nice to meet you, Rebecca.
Oh, nice to meet you too, Zed. Nice to meet you too. And thank you for saying your name, because I would have been butchering it the whole show. So that's why I'm like, introduce yourself so we get it right. Okay? Because Zaid the whole time.
Trust me, like for when I was on the Philip DeFranco show, like I didn't correct him for like the first 2 months, and then I was like, "My name's Zed," and then he's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "I just didn't." I'm like nobody, man. I don't want to.
I think it's kind of unfair though that that's how your name is pronounced, because it makes things really easy for Lance and David. It's just like you're a letter in the alphabet.
That's how we say the
That's
letters.
right.
That's true. That's true. I'm popular in Canada, in Britain, but Britain not so much because of the skin color, and they like destroyed my people for a while. But you know, it is what it is.
Is it?
Fuck Britain.
That took a turn.
Wait, Rebecca, did you just learn about the British colonies for the first time? You sound shocked.
Just right now. Just right now.
All right. Well, there's a lot of news this week. It's like I don't even know where to start. There's a lot of things happen.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Okay, what's on your guys' radar?
I have a lot of minor things I didn't cover this week, but we can get to big stuff first before I touch any of this stuff. I haven't touched Russell Brand yet because I figured everyone else is covering it. I'll just, I don't need to recover it. But Lance, you have been deep into the Russell Brand stuff.
I'm not going to do a Russell Brand intro. I'm going to say if you start going through Russell Brand and you want to know, because I've gone pretty extensively, both through the articles, I've watched the documentary at this point, so we covered the whole thing in detail. So if you want like actual, like, hey, what's the story behind the story stuff when we get to the facts on the ground, I got some of the facts when it comes to what happened. So
and yeah, just a content warning for people going forward. I'm not sure how explicit we'll get, but the claims here are very, very credible and very disturbing if you read them. And there's evidence. These women who came forward, they have substantiated their claims with evidence, corroborating messages. It's bad, and I believe them. It's bad for Russell Brand, and I think that it's extremely disingenuous for him to come out and try to get ahead of the story by claiming that, oh, well, this is coming out because I'm like a truth teller and they've just got to bring me down. You literally just talk about like anti-vax stuff and interview Republicans. You are not a threat to power. That is the worst excuse ever. But what's even more heartbreaking is that people believe it. People are actually buying into that.
Russell Brand,
he's had like a hold of this shtick for like a long time, because his shtick started out as a progressive shtick. And then he went to right wing. So he was very much like, it's very, I'm not going to say it's like Jimmy Dore, but isn't it kind of very similar where it's like, oh, hey, I am such a progressive and I'm for all of these ideas. And then now I'm on Tucker Carlson a few years later when it is a
very similar
diagram
definitely
between
grifter.
the two.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say, what's wild to Mike's point is the whole, like, to get ahead of this, he does that speech beforehand. It's like a 3-minute thing about how he's basically calling attention to power, independent media might be a threat to the system, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, so either tomorrow or the next day, some pretty big accusations are coming out against Russell Brand. He's trying to get ahead of this. I didn't know it was going to be this thorough. I didn't know it was going to be like a year-long investigation that interviews hundreds of witnesses who corroborate a whole bunch of testimony. One of the people who said that they were raped by Russell Brand went into a rape crisis center, and so there's medical records of them checking into there. That same person has a verified text message where they told Russell Brand that they were raped by Russell Brand, and Russell Brand apologizes. There's like a person who says that they were 16 years old when Russell Brand was grooming them, before Russell Brand was, sexually molesting them. All of this stuff. It was like, it wasn't just like a random single accusation. Like, this was something apparently that was like hugely known in the industry. Once again, bunch of dudes protecting dudes doing this shit. Same thing every single time. Like a Louis C.K. comes out, it's like, well, everyone knew. Everyone fucking knew. Like, everyone knew. And you're like, well, why did everyone know? That's wild. This one's Oh, and one last thing. Studios apparently had clauses in their contracts about Russell Brand that some said that he could be in apparent danger if left alone with women, if they were in the same group. Like, rather than not work with Russell Brand, they were putting clauses to try and protect people and be like, yes, never leave him alone in a room with a woman. And like, why not work with a non-rapist person then, instead of that?
They put that clause in there. But they put that clause in there to cover themselves because they knew his character. I don't know him. I've never been around him. But you can tell, how he is, especially if watching him, how he has conversations and how he's so free. And when he talks to women, there's a certain way that he does speak with women. And some women maybe find that attractive, or maybe he believed that was his whole personality that worked for him. But if indeed these allegations are true, and for me, I believe, my own opinion, that they may be true. He needs to go down like everybody else who gets in the media and are alleged rapists. Just because he I don't care if he was progressive and these allegations came out. I still would have went the same.
Yeah.
Like he still needs to get checked the same way. But he is a grifter, you know, so that adds a little extra to it. But so he thinks a lot of people are going to believe him, you know, and support him. We know how a lot of people who are conservative think for these type of people as well. They will cape for them. They will put out a whole bunch of things that aren't like things to save this person. And he's going to keep walking. And he thinks that he's above anything right now. Everything that everybody's saying is a lie. This happened at a time when I was X, Y, and Z. And everybody else is going to give those type of excuses to believe him. They're going to say, well, this was at a time when this was this and this was that. So many excuses are going to come out. But these people who are hurt, they're going to have to keep, those wounds are going to have to keep continuing to be reopened every time somebody makes an excuse for him. And if nothing happens to him, they're going to have to sit here and live with their information all over the internet. And probably, you know how it gets with this. Those people who are supporting him are going to find those, everybody who has been hurt by him. I don't know what exactly the extent of it is. I know you have a lot of information, you said, Lance, but a lot of the victims are going to have to relive this. And a lot of the people that support him are going to come out and go against them. And we know how the internet can get. They're going to find them. They're going to go after them. They're going to threaten them. So they're going to have to be living through a lot of this by telling their own stories anyway. So
yeah, I mean, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford had to move so many times when she came out, right? So I mean, there's no winning for the victims. It's just a matter of getting justice, but they don't have anything to gain. They oftentimes lose everything by coming out, especially against a very powerful individual. And, you know, even though this was an open secret, I feel like this is not surprising. Like, I think it was Chaotic Leftist on Twitter who said, it's always the people you suspect the most. And there was an Onion piece that came out, and it's like, the American people swore that Russell Brand was already outed for you know, sex crimes. And it's like, yeah, he's one of those dudes where you could just like, I get creepy vibes from him. And that's, you know, it's not just the creepy vibes. I mean, there's the evidence and stuff like that. But like, it's not surprising. Right,
because his character to me has always matched something of this sort.
Well, you have to also understand. At the time when he was doing it, he was also building a different image for himself. So like he had three images. So he had the image of like, I'm this comedian who has had severe drug issues, right? You know, and I'm a big believer that
Rolling
like,
Stones of comedian, like a rock star comedian.
Oh
the first one,
and that's the thing. I'm a big believer that people can do like good people can do evil things and evil people that can do good things. But I'm saying, hear me out. I think what he did, like early on, was he was a giant drug-addled comedian, and then he got sober, and then was like, "Hey, I'm gonna help drug addicts out." And then he was like considered like this heartthrob. He was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall and all of these other movies as this kind of like leading man. And during that time is when a lot of these allegations came out, and a lot of the things that he did happened. And then right after that, he was like, he was purported in like a lot of like progressive circles and stuff like that as this like, oh, he's truth telling when everybody is anti-Occupy Wall Street. He is for Occupy Wall Street. And this big cultural shift. And as soon as the vaccines and everything like that happened in 2020, he was like super anti-vaccine, like really hard, and then went way right and leaned into Tucker and all these people. So it was just like, oh, so you're just a complete grifter at this point. And then now all of these things came out. And I read something, I think, where someone was saying like he's kind of built this apparatus around himself for people to not trust the media, so that when allegations come out, he's not in there. I don't know if that was intentional. I think that's really cynical of me to think that it's intentional, but I think it's a benefit when you are in this place and you're building this whole apparatus of like, don't trust anybody, and you know, blah blah blah. Like I always see this dude as like a narcissist, just because of like, especially even when he was being like super progressive, like a lot of the stuff that he put out was very centered around him as this like prophet-like figure who's left Hollywood and left like the liberal agenda, and then now he's leaving the progressive agenda for what's really there. And I always feel people who postulate themselves as this like fucking prophet are super untrustworthy. right?
Oh yeah,
Because everybody has
absolutely.
To be clear, right? Like there's nothing that he was saying that was exposing, structures of power that you can't find anywhere on the internet, including like he would just read articles by the gray zone. And I hate the gray zone, but the people in the gray zone aren't being accused by multiple people of rape, right? Like I don't think he's saying anything that you can't hear. And he's like, oh, I've imagined done killed the queen and all that kind of stuff. Like it's like he was going in a really weird directions, like that conspiracy theory stuff. That was like some of the more Alex Jonesy tier level things. It wasn't like, like at least with Julian Assange, you've got a grounds for conspiracy theory there, because it's like he did actually affect structures of power and government. This is a dude who had a webcam and a YouTube channel, if accusations come out against all of you, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's because they got too close. All right, they got too close to the truth.
Well, the last time I was on, the first time I came on here, there was not to bring that up again, but there was like a huge kerfuffle about somebody who wasn't there, and I didn't even know. And then I went back and I looked at the comments, and there was a huge dialogue about one of the hosts that you guys kicked off of the show.
Did they kick him off?
You guys did, but you guys did confront it. You guys did confront it.
Yeah.
And I feel like and the thing is that I've
apologized to the people on the other side of that, like one-on-one individually, because I felt so bad about believing lies in the other direction. I was like, I felt legitimately horrible.
I gotta tell you honestly, for a second, I was like, we didn't kick Ole off the show. And then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that other person.
I still am unsure about, look, I don't know that life or what that was. So,
okay, we'll fill you in another episode. This is a totally separate
not to overshare, but like also I felt pretty. I talked about it on Freestyle the News a little bit. I felt very kind of icky the fact that it was being kind of compared to. It was being treated very specifically. It had a similar reaction to Hassan Minaj's like lie story about his comedy bits.
Who's comparing the two? Those are such different worlds.
Oh no, I felt like they had a very similar Twitter reaction. So it was pretty much it just felt very culture war heavy, right? I really fucking hate the culture war. But like as soon as Hassan Minaj's thing came out, it was like DEFCON 12. Like you've done something horrible. This is problematic. And I can see like there are some significant issues here. And blah blah blah, and everybody was divided on these lines, and almost like symmetrically opposite was the Russell Brand things, like almost like exactly the same accounts tweeting Hassan Minaj is a fraud are tweeting Russell Brand as being, like unfairly maligned. Like this mainstream media outlet is taking down this person, but now that they're taking down my guy,
everyone's clear what Hassan Minaj is accused of is basically exaggerating parts of his like his I'm just saying the parts of his story that like he got in trouble for. It's just making up routines in a stand-up bit. But like, and sure, don't lie about like your daughter having anthrax mailed to her even as a bit. That's just weird, right? But like that's very different than Russell Brand. He's like,
I'm sorry. I'm under the impression that comedians make up a lot of stories.
It is part of the craft.
The nuance here, is that he did like different. Really lean.
It's very personal.
Like, he leaned into like, and he did it's like, how when like Bill Maher like puts all over his thing like real time, and he's like purporting himself in all like media to be this like middle of the ground person, but then he's really biased. It's kind of the same. Like everything that Hassan Minaj did made it so that like, oh, these anecdotes are true. They're slightly altered, but they're true. But when that piece came out, it's like, it's not slightly altered. You're taking like a patina and you're spinning it into a yarn for an emotional truth. That's totally fine. But you have to like have that up front. We mentioned Louis C.K. earlier. When Louis C.K. was popular, he did say specific, and a lot of comedians do say up front, like, hey, I'm going to stretch the truth a little bit. Even John Mulaney's like, I'm going to stretch the truth a little bit. But if you don't say that and you're saying like, these are just my stories and I'm getting famous off of my stories.
They're very autobiographical too,
They can be autobiographical slightly and have changes, but you have to like, you can't like
they have to be based in reality. You can't just make up that your daughter had anthrax mailed to her, because that's a really serious thing that I got emotional when I saw that live, right? I was like, whoa.
You're also forgetting that he actually harmed somebody. There was a woman, a girl in his high school that he asked out to prom apparently, and she turned him down or something like that in reality, and he spun that into a story where she said yes, but then on prom night she was with somebody else, and the reason was because her family was racist against him, so she couldn't be seen with him. And that was completely fabricated. And in his routines, he would use photos, real photos of this woman with her current husband. And they like his fans would found her and like harassed her because of this fake story.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Wow.
I was not familiar with this story. That's insane.
That part at the end, I will say, Matt, that part at the end is speculation because like when that thing came out, like I was because that has happened to me. Like, right, not like I've like the same story, but specifically, hey, I can't date you because you're Muslim and this is why, because my parents feel this way, or it's not God's plan and all this shit, right? So, like, I was looking up like, oh, who is this person? Do they know each other and everything like that? And there was a photo that came up that was fairly different from the other person, but people did track her down and people did harass her for it. That part is absolutely true. And like, yeah, it's fucked up.
Okay.
I really loved it.
I mean, the big difference here is like you could make up a story for comedic effect, but the whole thing has to be part of the punchline.
Right.
You can't make up a story where you have some sort of greater message that you turn into like a political or social like example, and then you like run on it like,
to make a serious point.
Yeah, and that's like you can't do that. You can't do that. Like if this was like Louis C.K., then fine. He could like a bad example. We're talking about Russell Brand, but
I think with Russell,
but you know what I'm
Brand,
saying. If it's someone who's just straight up comedy with no broader message, then yeah, no one's expecting you to tell a true story or not. It's part of the comedy bit. But if your thing is that you're especially a political comedian, you can't be making up stories like that.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
But like Zed said, he's like he lived like 4 different lives, whatever. So yes, when he came out initially as this comedian, okay, people know how comedians are. They be lying, they be stretching the truth. It'd be like a true story and they'll stretch it, they'll add whatever. But when he started to go into like the activism and then straight politics and like sponsoring different politicians or people who are like, when he started doing that, like there's a different, people are going to dig into your life. A lot of things are going to come out, and that since you are thinking that since you coin yourself as the truth teller, as somebody who tells the truth, and that's why people are after you, then people are going to start looking for things where you lie about them. And it's easy because, especially with a lot of the bids when you, like when he does his comedy or whatever the case may be, people are going to start looking into that. And a lot of these women who are coming out about whatever, he can try to say and try to play it off, and a lot of people are going to be like,
"Are we talking about Russell Brand or Hassan Minhaj?"
I'm talking about Russell
Brand. We shouldn't conflate. There's no allegations against Hassan. Yeah, as far as I know.
The subject, but yeah, that's what I was saying. Like with him, a lot of people are going to make these excuses for him. Like, y'all know how he is. He's funny. You guys always know that he might, he play off of stuff and he plays with people and all those kind of things. But no, you live like 4 different lives. You know how to be. We've seen you switch up. You want to be conservative. You want to be this and you want to be that. Yeah. So no,
he failed upward. He's an example of someone who kept doing fucked up shit, like stuff that like they're in the documentary, the Channel 4 one. You'll see footage of him actually sexually assaulting people live on camera, and everyone would just be like, well, that was just the time. See, like in this one scene, he pulls his pants down and rubs his ass on like a woman, and it was not consensual. And in a scene, he just grabs a woman and starts making out with her. But see, like, that's the response to that is people are like, oh, it was a different time. I was like, well, it was never right though. Even if you're like, it was. What?
Was there a time when rubbing your ass on somebody was okay?
Right.
I missed that era.
Well, he's a comedian.
There was still like a period. It's still bad. The whole point is like there was a period of time where we were all like, oh, well, if we push the envelope, it's okay. But it was not okay. It was period not okay. And we ignored a lot of people's like these women calling out like, yo, this is not okay. For we're a post-racial society. We're a post sexualized or segregated society by sexism and everything like that. And we are not. We are clearly not. And that doesn't excuse any of his behavior. It doesn't excuse the fact that he had to transform himself 4 fucking times to try to catch on to an audience that he wants to manipulate into supporting him when he's but whatever term, when he's like riddled with allegations.
He was riddled with allegations. Yeah, no question.
And rifled.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna coin that
term.
We'll
go with
Before we get off this, I do want to share just how crazy some people are. Like, so This was an on-air fight, basically, between these two hosts.
I haven't seen this.
This is apparently a right-wing British show, or like a right-wing British news show.
Yeah, it's
and this lady is apparently a massive Russell Brand supporter, and you're going to see this interaction here.
Well, the allegations, they're increasing in their number, and I guarantee to you this is going to be a huge investigation, a huge story, and I'm astonished that you leapt to his defence before you can have
any
read
of his content in the last 3 years. You have
you
no idea who he is now. You have no idea what he represents.
Had you watched the Dispatches show when you put that tweet out on Saturday morning?
No, but that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
There was nothing
you hadn't even seen the Dispatches programme when you put out he is a hero. You hadn't even seen the Dispatches programme.
He would not have gained the popularity
as a woman, knowing that how difficult it is in this
country. All of the mainstream media hasn't been singing non-scientific hymn sheet
all you've done is
for the last
attack
3
these
years.
women. Shame on you.
Then all these people, all these newspapers that gave one side of the pandemic, he was
it's
alone.
Now about COVID.
Oh my God.
Other big hobby horse. She can't get through an hour without going on about COVID. This is not about COVID. This is about serious allegations about a public figure who has been accused by 4 women of two of rape, one of grooming a 16-year-old, and you're banging on about COVID.
He talks about the
You're
thing
obsessed. You're obsessed.
Can I just say that one lady who's just like,
no, I loved how they pan to her. And first of all, I didn't expect her to be a beautiful black woman. I'm like, now who else is in there? And when they panned her, I said, okay, this is beautiful, because I'm like, yeah, she ain't gonna agree with now one of y'all. And the lady is sitting there, and the fact she does like American conservatives, right? You talk about the issue, they are deflecting, and they'll go he says things, or he fights about things that are correct. It was because of COVID. That's why he raped some girls, because of COVID.
It's so ridiculous.
I enjoyed that host reaction, because the way he reacted to her, we need to see here, where he was basically saying, like, without outright saying it, he was basically saying, you are sick. There's something wrong with you.
Yes.
You are focused on these conspiracy theories that you think he's some brave truth teller, and that there's some bigger, big brother is trying to take him down. Like, that's what he was saying to her, like, with what with different words. Like, these people are sick. There's something wrong with a large swath of people, not just in this country apparently, but also in the UK and I'm sure elsewhere, who have fallen down these right-wing rabbit holes. And it's not just an ideological thing. It is like a cult. They are sick.
Yes.
They are so far gone from reality. They are demented. They are demented.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just with this story. It's there's QAnon is still alive and kicking, and they have a new 13-year-old leader in one of their factions. Like, it is sick.
I think the thing to also analyze in that is, like, you have to understand that these are, like, what's scary about all this shit is that it stems from something that it's like The Walking Dead. Everybody is sick in The Walking Dead. Some people are zombies, right? And I say that in the sense that, like, these rabbit holes are effective not because people are prone to being shitty. They're effective because people are prone to insecurities and prone to fear and prone to a lot of personal problems that they try to ascribe something to, right? If you look at the way ISIS was formed and a lot of these major extremist groups in the Middle East, who have had problems, and even Hindu nationalists, right? All of them stem from the same thing. It's not even necessarily economic conditions. It's from poor mental issues that people form into radical extremism. Stuff like QAnon, right? You can draw a straight line from similar things that happened to the formation of ISIS to the same kind of mental leaps and hurdles you got to do to be a member of QAnon, or to be somebody who's like, oh my God, Russell Brand is telling the truth and everybody is a lie. And I just got this new hat made of tinfoil and it's really nice.
It's to give you control back.
Exactly,
when life seems uncertain and scary and stuff, you get control when all of a sudden there's just answers to everything. And it happens to be that there's a secret code of, Hollywood liberal elite pedophiles who drink adrenochrome. And that's, like that to some people is comfort. That's the therapy they can afford, I guess,
And the thing is,
deeply sad.
the Russell Brand narrative of him taking advantage of people, right? Of grooming a 16-year-old, right? Of him raping that woman, right? All of that fits in to that narrative that they've been talking about, that like, oh, Hollywood has all of these issues. It has all of these problems with not speaking up about sexual assault and all the rife bad behavior that's going on there. That fits in. But because now it's their guy, now it doesn't fit in. Now it's the machine trying to eat its own, you know? Like, yeah.
The
I saw all of the left, all of the progressive call out Channel 5 right away. All of the left just called out Andrew Callahan.
Yeah.
He was good, and all of those. There was no like, who knows what truly happened. It was like, that's fucked if true, you know. But I'm going to talk about it. That sucks, but here it is, right?
Yeah.
So you
Well, I mean,
don't
even
get that
with-
in the opposite direction.
With the Donald Trump stuff, like I saw this widely circulated meme about how, oh, isn't it sad? Like I'm paraphrasing it, but it's like, oh, it's so sad that not a single person on Epstein's blacklist got indicted before Trump. It's like, he was on the fucking list. Are we just gonna delete that from our memory? Like I just
and honestly, go after all of them. Please go after the whole list. I would love that. No pushback. Go after Clinton.
Bill
go
Clinton.
After Trump. Go after every fucking.
I don't care who you represented, what side you were on, who loves you, who gave you a black card, who invited you to the cookout. Everybody can get it. Anybody can get it. If you literally are accused of raping, you should, what they call due process. It should apply to everyone. But like you said, Zed, like it is all about, if it's your person, then there's selective outrage, there's selective memory. We don't, that's, you know, they're going to make excuses. They're going to have a pillow for you to land on, and they're going to make sure that you continue to live your life. But anybody else, though, they're going to be outraged about it. Just seeing how the two anchors that were discussing it, and the black lady was like, now how I get in it? This is not my business. But the man was very upset. He's like, listen, lady, first of all, you're a woman and you're sitting here and you're having this, like, you should understand that. So she's just like, but COVID, because they will do that. They will make a stupid excuse that makes nothing. All of a sudden that they're worried about COVID. Your people weren't worried about COVID when COVID was COVIDing, and COVID is still COVIDing. Your people don't care. But because we said Russell Brand is a rapist, here is the stats. Here's the information. Here's the credibility. You go to COVID all of a sudden.
Yeah.
She didn't even read the allegations because she didn't believe them. Like she just because
she tweeted
she thinks because Russell Brand put out this. I didn't watch his video because I can't stand him. But he put out this video that apparently he's defending himself, claiming that, you know, they're all coming after him because he's a truth teller. So she just believed that line and didn't even bother to actually understand that they actually went. One of the allegations, she actually went to like a rape crisis. I mean, Lance broke this all down, but there's text messages. She went to a crisis center. She got all the evidence is there. So for someone like this to not even engage in any of that and just defend him, I mean, it shows you again how rotten their brain is.
Yeah, there's no objectivity. Just tribalism.
Do we want to play the Ben Shapiro clip?
Oh God, there's a
I don't have
Ben Shapiro clip.
Pretty much like, technically, 16 is legal, so
I don't want to watch it.
Technically,
if you can find it,
watch a fucking Hobbit. Tell me about.
You know what really fucking pisses me off about that? Those are the same people who call queer folk groomers all day for money. All day for money, and then it's like, yo, someone as a 30-year-old slept with a 16-year-old. That's a problem, right? Technically, in the UK, the age of consent is 16, so checkmate. And you're like, what the fuck?
But even on top of that,
I'm not even surprised. Yeah.
No,
sorry,
but on top of that,
you go, Matt.
No, it's all right. On top of that, the allegation isn't just that he had relations with a 16-year-old where apparently it's legal to do so. The allegation is that he raped a 16-year-old. And Ben Shapiro does not even acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm. Alice, whose name we have changed to protect her identity, now realizes she wasn't fine during a relationship that lasted for about 3 months when Brand was a BBC radio presenter. She says he referred to her as the child and alleges he became increasingly controlling and then emotionally and sexually abusive. So at this time, Brand was 30 and she was apparently 16. Okay, now, in the United States, crime. In the UK, not crime. The age of consent in the UK is 16, and apparently Brand ascertained that she was 16 by asking her.
Also, pause it for a second. We should also mention that according to people who knew Russell Brand, and it's in this piece, he referred to the 16-year-old he was having relations with as the child.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and also content warning, like things are really bad. Like that story is full on like and again content warning, but she told him that she was a virgin and he apparently immediately had an erection and then immediately was like, "You're my little doll, my little dolly. Oh, I can't wait to play with my little dolly." Like just fucking disgusting, abhorrent behavior.
Yeah.
Means scuzzy, scumbaggy behavior, sure. Criminal behavior, no. If you're, again, in the UK, and the age of consent changes from states, I would prefer the age of consent be 18. But if you're not going to have that, then that's what it is.
We should also.
What's interesting is that I didn't realize he actually does say sexually abusive behavior, but then throws that aside and never acknowledges it. Like so he does. No, yeah. Go ahead.
Ben Shapiro is the type.
Zed, sorry.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro is the type of person who you would walk up to him and be like, "Hey, man, I've been stabbed." He's like, "You haven't been stabbed. You've been pierced." Okay, they were using a rapier and not a knife. Like, all right, bro, I'm bleeding though. Okay, you gonna fucking do something?
Yeah, he's all about technicalities that don't actually matter.
Dude.
I love his whole Donald Trump doesn't know he's doing a crime, so therefore it's not a crime.
Yeah, but dude, there was a point, like, and I keep bringing it up, like, where he had this clip circulating online of like him being like, when I would go to parties, I would just hate his fucking mousy ass voice. Like when I would go to parties, I would just see everybody around there, and I just couldn't stand it. So I would just bring a book to parties, and I would read a book. And I'm like, if you read a book on a couch at a party, you were the fucking saddest. Like you're, bro, like that's like school shooter.
You're worse than the
like
magician.
I don't fucking.
Yeah. You're worse
that's
than the magician.
Weird, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
worse
who
than
the
mime.
Like, just go home and read the book. Like
yeah, bro, just stay home and read.
It's okay to be uncomfortable in places. Just don't stay there and be weird.
No shame.
If you go to like a party. If you go to a party and your friend is reading Pride and Prejudice on the couch, you're just like, why are you here? Charles?
So Sigma, though.
Hey, now, leave me alone. I'm reading.
That's perfect. That's perfect. He's a creeper to me. Him.
I have his voice changer. I got his voice changer. Me, I got a voice changer. Hey.
Oh my god!
I got auto-tune. If we're sharing.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, do some auto-tune.
That was crazy.
Ben Shapiro. His eyebrows look like fucking caterpillars. I don't want to fuck.
That's fantastic.
This is good.
I need to get me some.
I might need to cut that with David doing that voice and going right over his head. Like I need it fast. But so I was like, who did that? No, Ben Shapiro's a creeper. Him doing that whole was making my blood boil. Like you're talking about a child, and I get it.
Yeah.
You know, in UK, whatever, but it's still a child. Even Russell referred to her as a child. Hearing that, like, it really is very disturbing, and for people to make excuses. He said, I mean, what he did was wrong, yeah, but essentially, I mean, like, it was consensual in some way. It wasn't like a real crime. So we don't have to look at Russell Brand as the rapist that he is, because I mean, with the, even like logistics,
he also goes ahead. Ben Shapiro also goes ahead in his segment to say that like the allegations happened when Russell Brand was on the left and he didn't know Russell Brand. But now he knows Russell Brand as a person and knows he's a good person now. So he doesn't know.
So ridiculous.
He can't attest to Russell Brand's character then, but now he's a great guy.
Even Candace Owens came out against Russell
Right.
Brand. And she apparently was on his show like the week before. Yeah, I was like shocked.
And Megyn Kelly.
Like,
Her and Megyn Kelly.
And Megyn Kelly.
They don't deserve credit because this is stuff like obviously like they should be on that side. But still, it was still surprising to see Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly. I understand more. I mean, she went through the same shit, right?
Right.
Or like similar issues.
She was especially angry.
Well, with Roger Ailes, like Roger Ailes was a stupidly huge predator. For everybody at Fox. I was gonna say like, sorry, sorry, David, finish your thing. I'll talk after.
No, I'm done.
Okay. Sorry, but like I was saying, like, dude, like I find it funny, just all of that. Like, whenever you hear specifically people on the right talk about like Hollywood and California and all that shit, it's the same tactics you kind of see, because like again, we're talking about like that technicality shit. I live in Los Angeles and I work in music and all that kind of stuff. That is how all people who aren't fucking doing anything talk. Like it's the most prolific, most annoying part of living in California is walking up to people who will say like, well, I had a Forbes magazine feature. I'm like, did you mean that you were listed as the guy who like typed things up? Like, yes, I was featured in Forbes magazine. Like they will take any technicality and spin it into like, I was featured here or I did this, right? And it's used so you could get higher in the industry and you can get credits, and all of that vibe is all over conservative media, anything like where Matt, you were talking about earlier this week, which I kind of retweeted you about, like Elon Musk's like impressions thing on Twitter.
Oh, it's
right?
such a lie.
And we've talked about that so many times about how that is not a metric of engagement that is meaningful. And it's actually detrimental if you are getting that many. For those of you guys who don't know, engagement rates are what run and make social media networks live or die, right? And a good engagement rate on Instagram, like a decent engagement rate, is 10%. A decent engagement rate on YouTube is 15%. On Twitter, it's 0.9%. That means the majority of accounts doing slightly well on Twitter is less than 1%. That means that the time you are spending, you are not getting any meaningful traction on Twitter as a platform for conversions or anything like that. But it's a technicality. Hey, we got 3.33 million views, and they could be like half the screen down, or they could be somebody who just like it's maybe off the screen. Fuck it. Somebody had seen a picture of Tucker Carlson and go, and that's a view. Like, doesn't matter. It's all kind of compiled in. And like, I think I was listening to somebody say this, but like a lot of people who are in the political arena, right? And as you can see with certain conservative people, like specifically Ben Shapiro, and there's another fucking guy, I forget his name right now. He has slick back hair and looks like a dickhead. But like they're both, I don't even have a name, but Kevin Sorbo, Rob Schneider, all of these people are people who are not wanted by the industry right now in California or in major Hollywood. And now,
yeah,
not even that. They just but their work isn't working. Like, even when they were playing the game, their work wasn't worthwhile. It wasn't making money. It wasn't having traction. And yeah, there are a lot of problems with Hollywood. There are a lot of problems with California. But it's very interesting that they state all these problems and then go to another side that is exhibiting all of those problems at the exact same time and using them as like pillars of their industry.
Did you see that?
I will say it is odd that ever since Rob Schneider has started talking the truth about the COVID vaccine, he suddenly stopped getting hired to be the "you can do it" guy in the movies.
No, but he wasn't getting that to be related. He lost his career. He lost his career after Deuce Bigalow European Gigolo, which is a weird sentence to say out of your face if you've ever tried it. It's very weird. But like he lost like a majority of his career. He had like one feature in something at that point, and then a couple of years back,
he did Hot Chicks. That was a drag performance.
Yeah,
drag queens.
Yeah.
That'd be illegal in Tennessee now.
He was in Hot Chicks.
Yeah, that would be illegal.
He was a hot chick.
That would be illegal. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then like now he's turned fully to that. I mean, fucking what's his name? James Woods like went way down that rabbit hole, right?
Oh, James Woods is James Woods is the rare case of like, oh, that actor actually had talent. That's too bad. Like he was actually in good movies. Like he's the one. He's the one who
Kevin
actually in good
Sorbo
movies.
has some good episodes. Come on.
No, he did not.
Bro, Kevin Sorbo started some shit, and then like Lucy Lawless was like, "Bro, I'm Xena. You're like Hercules. Shut the fuck up. Shut up."
She turned out to be the good one.
Yeah.
How about Clint Eastwood? He's he's the old angry man in every fucking thing he's ever been in. He's not a good actor.
Yeah, but Clint Eastwood, I feel like he sort of just got he divorced himself from the whole scene. I don't see him out there anymore.
I know
After
Clint
talking
Eastwood's
to a
granddaughter.
I can remember that.
You know his granddaughter? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I went to school with his granddaughter. Like him and like I don't want to speak on everybody, but him and like other like traditional like conservative or like even like libertarian, like they're just like I don't want to do it. I'm old. I want to just do whatever I want. Yeah, they're just over it, you know. And I mean, how could you not be over? Like this whole cycle is like, again, like there's such a giant political funnel of money you get from stroking fear and anger. And it's like in every aspect of human life, man. Like you can get the where you eat, what you purchase, right? What you watch, right? They're trying to build like a conservative Hollywood. They're just making bad westerns for it.
Like a little girl we were, or the young woman that we covered on 2 episodes ago, or whenever we were here, that does the commercial. She covers conservative stories or covers stories in a conservative manner, and she's like a little Generation Z, and she's like, they set that up for her, and then she has these commercials that she do about conservative businesses. They're all like, you know, these southern like burger joints or rib joints or whatever, and she'll stop what she's talking about and focus on that. But yes, they make them very, very conservative. They make sure their business is conservative. They make sure anything that they cover, what they do, their comedy, everything is super conservative. Like, what is it? Most recently, the Bobart lady, whatever her name, Lauren Bobart. She would like see everybody else is grooming. They're being disgusting. They're showing themselves to young kids. Drag queens are inappropriate. Yet she's in a movie theater, in a kids movie, I believe, and getting groped by her new man.
It was a musical.
It
was a family musical.
Right.
Family musical.
A family musical. Yeah. Okay, yes, there we go. And she's getting groped up. I don't know how that Beetlejuice is turning you on, you weirdo, with all these kids. And then Beetlejuice. So there's always like an asterisk when it comes to conservative.
Yo, Matt, pause, Matt.
Matt's getting a little too excited here about
Matt, you go weird for me because that was weird.
Bro, that was like what? Pause, dude.
But yeah, there's always like an asterisk for them. Like, okay, this
Hold
is bad,
on. Someone just said she pulled a Pee Wee Herman, and that's pissed me off. She did not pull a Pee Wee Herman.
Remember that
Pee Wee did that in an adult movie theater with other adults in there who were consensually.
Maybe they said she was
the same sort of material
because that's accurate.
If her date's name is normal,
do not defile the good name of Pee Wee Herman in front of me.
Listen, that heifer was wrong. She was wrong, and she was wrong. I don't care what color she represents. I do not care what, like, conservative or not. She was wrong for this. But the thing is, we're not going to hear much about it. It's going to get lost. But they're going to go back. And then when something happens, when kids get shot in a school, they're going to go and talk about how terrible drag queens and drag shows are for America. And that is why kids are getting shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but without any hint of irony, she'll talk about how gays are perverts and drag queens are grooming kids, not even like mentioning the fact that, yeah, you were caught in the theater.
She gets to get her boob grabbed on, rubbed on her legs, doing all kinds of stuff with this man, and kids are around. Like, I don't see, like, what kind of... It's weird.
Yeah, and
I'm so sorry, Rebecca. I don't mean to interrupt you, but like the fact that Lance and Matt was like, yeah, Beetlejuice, man.
Lance had no idea that Bitter just did the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Matt, can you do it again?
Bitter had like a full-on orgasm looking at the camera.
It was in the moment. It was in the moment.
Matt was weird about it. Lance, don't come on here being weird about it.
Listen, if you'd like to see more of that,
a really good point. Like, really good point about
more of that. Go to onlyfans.com/Matt.
Oh, breaking some news here.
All right.
Wow. No, I don't have.
Matt
I'm going to start an
feet
account
pics.
called onlyfans.com/Matt Bender, and then people will be surprised.
Oh no, they're going to Matt.
You should do that, but like literally, it should just basically be like tasteful nudes, but what's covering them up is like socialist rhetoric, just stuff about like
boudoir style.
Just like it's just Matt like this, and then just be like, oh, what Lauren Boebert has done is absolutely atrocious to the community.
You know what? I bet that would actually. I don't wonder if anyone's. Someone's got to be doing.
That's
that.
actually a good idea.
Someone's got to be doing
That's
it.
a
Like
terrible
naked,
idea. Why would you encourage it?
It's a unique enough idea that it would be successful on its own. I think
it's a niche.
I get 5%. I'm just saying.
I respect the hustle. That was fast.
Yeah, I love how the takeaway from Lauren Boebert about all of this is that she's not going to date Democrats anymore, because apparently that guy was the first date, by the way. And then apparently
nothing
there's not going to be a second date.
Some people do a little more than others on the first date. That's fine.
Well, I don't know.
The problem is
maybe
where
not the
she
right
did
location,
it.
but
What? No, that's the problem. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Have
that's
you done
the problem.
disclaimer?
Where she did
Like,
it.
We're not anti-hand job. We're pro hand job. Just don't do it in front of.
Don't do it in front of children.
Don't,
but just
yeah,
not,
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Not in front of the kids. Leave them kids alone.
But
right.
don't make your
don't try to hide
make the
it.
corner
With big ribs.
Right.
Don't
Apparently,
make
the guy had a
cornerstone of your
bar,
campaign.
right, where he had drag shows at his
Yeah.
bar. That's
Yep.
probably what she was
It was a
referring
gay-friendly
to.
bar,
yeah, that's why
That's
she's
probably
It was
what
a
she
gay-friendly
referred
bar.
to when she said she's never going to
And
date
we sandwich
Democrats
it.
before.
Yeah, obviously.
We're going to still see her jerking people off in movie theaters. Just they won't. They just won't be having.
I don't wanna,
the
like,
owner of bars with drag shows being a piece of person.
What
See,
did
the
you
way
say?
it works is she
I
was
don't
with
wanna
a,
slut- I don't
a
wanna,
gay
like,
person,
slut
so she's
shame her.
gay.
I don't want to
No,
slut shame her. No, I understand that. I
It's
understand
just
that. But I don't want
it's the in front of kids part, right? We're
Right,
hand job
yeah,
enthusiasts here.
that's
yeah,
fucked.
it's both giving and receiving.
That-
They're, like everything's great. Yeah, that part's awesome.
No.
It's the kids present part. That's the
It was a
the
little
Yes.
dry
yeah.
to me, but
Yeah.
like, don't do this in front of the kids. Period.
Yes.
It's-
Easy. Don't try to hide it with Vape Nation. Don't try to do that. That's weird too, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
the vaping
In front
too
of
was
a pregnant
lot,
woman
like-
who asked you to
front
stop,
of
that
a
you then
pregnant woman
argued
who asked
with.
you
I like how
Stop.
that was the first
Yep.
that for the first
Yep.
5 days, like that was like for the first like 3 days when it broke, it was like she was vaping in front of a pregnant woman, right? And that was what everybody saw.
She denied
I'm,
that.
I'm sure
too.
there were people
She
there who were
denied
like,
the vaping
yeah.
part.
yeah, and she denied it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure people there were like, bro, she was like jerking this dude off. Like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
talking about?
No, they were like, no, she wasn't. Mind you, we're seeing
Yeah.
this, but they're
You can-
everybody.
Night
See, here's what they
vision,
do.
oh, the
Selective.
technology's come a long way.
They're like, no, she was
Mhm.
supporting children as a national leader here, and she was with someone, and all they were doing was fellowshipping. And if we can't see it that way, then you're the problem because you're instantly looking at it
Right.
in a negative manner. So you
She
are
just-
now the problem. This is the same Lauren that sat there and was talking about how family oriented she is. She's all about her husband. She had her kids in the back of her pickup truck, real American like. She likes to be barefoot, at the stove waiting for her man. This is the
Husband
same woman,
exposes
right?
himself to minors.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
It's a fool. Nothing about her is
Ran a
real.
diarrhea restaurant.
Yeah.
There was also a story last year about how she was in the car with her son or something like that, and they got into a car accident, and the car flipped or whatever, and she ran from the scene and left her son there to.
Is that true?
Of
See,
course she did.
I
This
missed
was the
that
most
story.
thing ever.
Are you serious? This is a true
this
story.
was,
Is this true?
Yeah, look, Daily
Please.
Beast. Bobert bailed on
Wow.
family and off-roading accident weeks before primary. This was last year.
Oh yeah.
Rep.
I
Lauren
remember that.
And they're
Boebert
gonna say she
reportedly.
needed to leave the scene because she was running and she needed to make sure that she saved
course.
face. Like they're gonna say that.
Oh, it was an ATV, but still, it wasn't a car. It was an
Yeah,
ATV,
ATV,
but still,
yeah.
it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle.
Wow.
Jesus.
Anyways, let's move on from Bobert. This is a small story, but this hit like before we went live, and I just think it's worth mentioning. So I'm gonna play for you first what Senator Tim Scott said, and then I'm gonna get to the potential repercussions that he may be facing here. But this is over the UAW. So of course the UAW right now is striking against the big three automakers for higher wages, more benefits, better conditions, and you have people like Tim Scott not very happy about that. Here's his solution on how he would handle the strike.
Republican presidential candidate.
When federal employees decided they were going to strike, either you strike, you're fired. Simple concept to me. To the extent that we could use that once again, absolutely.
So his solution to the strike is fire
Wait,
them.
what?
Here's the
Isn't it-
problem. You can't do that. So
Right, yeah.
this is
Also,
UAW
if they
has now
fired them, that would
filed-
be worse. That would be the company wouldn't be able to make.
well, I guess
make
the
like-
idea is hire more people. But because of
Yeah, but
this, the UAW is filing
Lot of
a
scats.
labor complaint against Senator Tim Scott for saying you
That's
strike,
awesome.
you're fired. So he now has to face the
Strike, you're
NLRB for promoting this ridiculous idea that I guess he put on Ronald Reagan. I'm not sure about this history. I guess Ronald Reagan fired some federal workers for striking is what I think happened.
I mean, yeah, and he did disrupt the airline fucking unions very effectively. You can give Reagan credit for that for sure, right? Like his policies were devastating, but this is not the same thing. Like this is just you not knowing the rules. That's all this is.
If you fire, especially in that instance, if you fired all of those, like it costs more money for a company to hire somebody than it does to fire them. So if you fired a bunch of people and you're trying to hire people, like if you fire your entire workforce and
hiring scabs, no less.
Hire scabs, no less.
Yeah.
One, you're gonna automatically lose money. You're not gonna weather the storm like you will, right? Two, it's gonna be a national fucking news story that you just fired your entire workforce, and people are gonna have problems with your brand. And three, like you're just gonna have all these other problems that pop up because of this. Like, aside from being like illegal, it's objectively stupid to fucking say that.
Right. Tim Scott he doesn't think, okay? And I feel bad because he's just he's an embarrassment. The man, everything that he says, it doesn't make sense. And I'm not surprised that he did say this. And it's a laughable thing. Like you're and he said it with authority. He said it strong. He said it very believable. He believes himself, but he doesn't think about what all the things that you just listed. That's not something he's gonna think about. He's not gonna think about that. But he's saying like the tactic is to put fear into people. When somebody says you'll be fired, for people who are already striking, so they really right now they're willing to risk it all for a change. But he's like, oh, you'll just get fired. That's a fear tactic. You're gonna lose your job. You're gonna lose, your livelihood. Maybe if that's, if you're leaving paycheck to paycheck, which I'm sure they are. So you're gonna lose that. You're not gonna have anything. So I think that's the first thing that he thought of saying, just because it's a fear tactic, and that's what they do, not to be helpful, not to be just to scare them and to not striking or fighting for their rights, and that's.
And this is the party that tries to pretend that they're the ones for the working class, right? So pro working class that we got to fire these people who are organizing for higher wages. The CEO, like, so
especially the United Auto Workers, which is just like, that was huge.
They've seen just a 6% raise in their wages over the past 4 years. Meanwhile, CEOs 40%.
Yeah,
and profits up massively. Even before the pandemic, but even still. So all these benefits going to the C-suite in these companies, and all the workers not seeing any of the benefits of the profits that they themselves are creating for the CEOs. So
because they do 300 times the work, David. Haven't you realized this?
and the other thing is the automotive industry also, like if you look back to 2016 and the collapse of what was the blue wall or whatever, like the biggest issue that they have had, aside from white non-college educated voters, was people who had worked in the auto industry. A lot of people who worked in that industry felt abandoned, right? They lived in towns that had bottomed out because of the auto industry having such issues, right? And so if you're going to them and telling them, hey, you you just have to deal with this, then why the fuck would they support you? Why the fuck would they come out and all of a sudden think your economic policies are going to be great if they're at their expense? Like what the fuck is the point? One of the ways Donald Trump kind of conned his way into the White House was telling people like, oh, I'm going to make transformative change, and one of the things is if you're in a shuttered steel mill town or if you're in Michigan and everything like that, you don't have to worry. Don't excuse the racism. We're going to fucking do this for you economically. And like if you have a bunch of people who are on the Republican side saying like, oh, no, fuck unions, right? Why the fuck? What is the incentive, right? What is the incentive for any of them to look past your bullshit racism and your xenophobia, which a lot of them are very uncomfortable with? Let's be real. There are people who are not uncomfortable with it. There are a lot of people who were uncomfortable with it. And that's why it was a blue wall that collapsed.
Yeah, and I'm doing a video on this tomorrow. If you watch a little bit longer into that Tim Scott clip, he goes on to attack Biden for including an extension of pensions in the COVID package from 2021. On top of that, if you listen to Nikki Haley, she talks about how, see, Biden, he's so pro-union that the workers are emboldened. And see, I was a union buster as governor. Like, they're saying the quiet part out loud, and you still have individuals like Trump and Josh Hawley and Marco Rubio. Like, they will signal support for the unions. but they're still denying what they want. Like they're saying, oh, these workers are striking because of Biden's radical climate agenda, when in actuality, they're just not listening. Like they're saying, our CEO got a 40% pay increase. We want 40%. We're the ones producing all of these profits for the company. So we think that that's what we are owed. And so that's the thing. Like the Republican Party, they're going to propagandize the situation. But this is one of those issues that's so difficult for them to gaslight the American people on, because you can't tell them, oh, no, you're paid fairly and your boss is treating you equitably. They can feel that and see it. So like you might be able to lie about trickle-down economics, because that's a little bit more difficult for them to parse out at the individual level. But if you tell them that you're not being taken advantage of and the bosses and the CEOs are good, then I'm sorry, like you're not going to win them over. And part of my video tomorrow, Ben Shapiro is saying, oh, there's just not enough money. Like they're asking for these raises. There's not enough. Who believes that? Who believes that? Nobody believes that. So yeah, listen, this is my whole motive, or my motive.
Was it Massachusetts or Minnesota that just did like a 1% taxation on the incredibly wealthy that is paid for an entire universal feeding kids program? There is no more child starvation from 1% taxation on the super wealthy. Like you can't tell me that doesn't work. Like and like you just see that speaks for itself. Like, are you pro starving kids? I doubt it. Like, who is pro starving kids these days?
Yeah, but freedom, Lance, freedom. How about freedom?
I forgot. Sorry, freedom. You're right. Fuck me, freedom. Freedom sounds cool.
Actually, on that note, I got a couple of amazing clips because so this is some right wing network. I don't know. There's like 1,000 of them, but they were at a Trump rally speaking to a couple of Trump voters here, and this is actually kind of depressing, but it's amazing just how unaware these people are to what Trump is actually about, what the Republican Party is actually about, and how they are just an opposite in terms of what these people actually need. This interview here is it's incredible.
Okay. But what is Trump under his policies? How did it benefit your life? Are you work? Are you retired? I mean,
no, I'm disabled. I have a broken plate in my back. And it really bummed me because during COVID, I was supposed to get my third surgery and have it fixed. And when the doctor, a very big specialist, went to fix it, he said, "Where's your Medicaid?" I said, "What do you mean, where's my Medicaid?" "Well, they took my Medicaid." So I'm coming up here hoping I can get my surgery done.
Well, it's interesting, right?
Okay.
Look how he just he moves on because he has no way.
That guy, dude. I hate
That's Marjorie's boyfriend, by the way.
That's right.
Is it? That's her boyfriend?
That's literally her boyfriend.
What a fucking dickhead, dude.
Who's boyfriend?
Marjorie.
They did an on-air interview.
The one she cheated on with Zangief.
Zangief
cosplay from Street
the
Fighter
guy
2.
after that guy.
Did you call him Zangief?
Okay.
He's not that good of a grappler.
How are you guys getting this information? This is hilarious. I told you.
Because
no, I'm not making this up.
I had to hypocrisy burn her because that guy did a local news report where he was in drag, and Marjorie Greene's whole thing is drag queens are grooming kids. So it's like, I'm on this like stink on shit. So I remember that's her boyfriend.
Like,
but this is like
what a piece of shit.
Like stink on shit.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear what you said.
I don't want to be redundant, but it's just like it's a very good example of just like again, like it's the culture war, right? You have that lady is going to that rally because she just fucking even earlier in this we were talking about lack of control and lack of feeling like you have control of your own life, leading people into these rabbit holes, right? So this lady is going to this rally because she needs control, because she has a disability, right? That's a sincere issue. She was denied getting what she needed to from her Medicaid. Like there's so many realistic issues that can be solved, and she's going to be given a bunch of other issues tied to hers, right? And just talk to in a certain manner to rile her up and get her hyped and out the door so that she can support a candidate who's not going to give a fuck about her.
Yeah.
And this entire thing is like, look, we last time I was on here, you guys talked about how the Republican Party does not really have a platform. I still don't think they do. They have a platform, but it's whatever they can get to get their jobs back, right? And I just get increasingly worried when we have things like the Hassan Minhaj versus Russell Brand thing, right? When we have things where people immediately divide lines on Twitter to talk about what kind of America they want, and it's about whether it's between like, whether you should have pronouns or not, or whether you should be able to jerk somebody off in a movie theater or not, or whether, everybody's reading the Bible. Like, none of it is about this lady and her disability. None of it is about workers' wages. None of it is about the auto industry striking, right? It's about how it makes you how it makes you feel. Like not in the way that like it actually makes you feel, how it makes you feel towards their conversion rate on a vote. And it's this fucking guy with his fucking supercuts haircut going up to these people and fucking trying to just
and
like
getting
just being like, I don't know.
Like,
I got one more here.
Like an evangelical pastor. This is what the vibes are giving right now. All these people are coming up and saying their issues.
Rebecca spitting.
And
Rebecca spitting.
All these people are coming up and saying their issues, and here they go, like, tell us what's wrong with you, and then like get the hell out of here. Okay, after like we can't heal you, we won't heal you, we won't help you. We'll take your coin, we'll take everything that you're talking about right now. We'll hear out the issue, but we're not going to help you out. Just continue to support us, and these people will continue to do so. He literally, she said what her issue was, and you can tell it was just going to be nothing from after that. He didn't care. There was no resolution going to be listed. There was nothing, and if so, it would be a lie. A lot of these people are coming with they believe red, they believe in conservative, they believe in Republicans, and they will rock with them no matter what. Toothless, all the way living in West Bubba of nowhere. No teeth in the front, no teeth in the back, no insurance, nothing. But they will ride for this. No health insurance,
I just
nothing.
had to purchase a new car because a deer totaled my other one, and it just. Everything, the cost of everything is way too high.
And insurance, medical insurance as well. Medicare, Medicaid.
Well, fortunately, I'm on Medicare, so that helps
Socialist.
a lot right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got my VA benefits.
So. Like this guy
this
has.
motherfucker. Do you think this guy tucks in a
healthcare.
T-shirt when he wears it? Like the guy. Like
these people, like the. It's maddening to see people like actively supporting against their own interests, and he's clueless. He's clueless. He's absolutely clueless.
They've been brainwashed.
There are definitely people that prioritize, their racism, their homophobia over actual, material conditions. But then there are people like maybe this guy who doesn't even realize that he's voting against his own interests, that he has. Things like he has medical care because of a government-funded program that is not supported by the Republican Party.
Fortunately, I got Medicaid. You don't even know why you got it. Okay, what are we talking about here? These people don't give a damn about you. They don't care, and it's so sad because they're being taken. He's getting all of these testimonials so they can put them together and put them on TV or make these a viral moment and say that they listen to the people, but they did nothing. They're taking advantage of these people, and that is so tough to see. Like, I can't stand them, but it's so sad to see. These people need help. They need help.
Yeah, the amount of people that I see, just like my old Walmart coworkers and Subway coworkers on Facebook, bitch about taxes. When it's like, you work for a large multinational corporation still, like they still work there, and they are exploiting you 500 times more than the fucking IRS is, and you're bitching about taxes. Like, it's just, they've been completely brainwashed into this capitalist cult to think that it's good, because like government bad, but corporations good. As long as it's not the government, it's fine.
All of the emotional context that's provided to you is short-term emotional context, right? And the long term of contributing taxes from a paycheck, right? You'll get a return for some of what you've done. You'll get services, right? But because there's friction there, and because it's not an immediate feeling of like, oh, I'm losing, like this is gonna go to something, right? You immediately have like an adverse feeling. Like all of the playbook is built on how it initially makes you feel before you understand anything, right? Like how you initially feel about having to change up your pronouns. You feel, oh, this is something that is, I have to figure this out, right? And if you feel a little uneasy, they're like, hey, you see you feel uneasy? That's fucked up, right? That you feel uneasy. And then all of a sudden they build you into all of these other things, right? Which is, it's not fucked up. It's a fucking, it's changing one fucking part of a sentence, right? But it's the way they get you. It's
it's definitely a masterclass of like brainwashing when you think about the fact that like rather than ever criticize the fact that your boss where you spend 8 hours a day is making like 300 times your wage, it's trans women playing in sports. That's what you got to worry about. That concerns you in your life, right? It's like I don't really watch women's sports and I don't have a trans child. I don't actually participate in any of this. Doesn't concern me at all. But you're right. That's important.
Yeah, and Joe Biden is a tyrant, but your boss controls the way that you dress, what you can say, when you have to be
when you
there.
spend 8 hours a day every day,
And
when you shit, when you piss.
Yeah, they can snap your entire livelihood away from you like
take
that.
your Medicare away. Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
away.
people seem to conflate. Like when they talk about freedom, like I get like really like I grind my gears a lot as a rapper, just like when people talk about freedom of speech, because I think people conflate. Everybody thinks they're an armchair lawyer, and people conflate like federal law with like workplace law. So if you go up to somebody in your workplace and you're like, "You're a piece of shit," and you get fired, you're like, "What happened to freedom of speech in America?" I'm like, "Bro, you called somebody a piece of shit at a workplace." I'm not gonna like I know people who are like I've had friends who. Or former friends who they will say something. I'm like, bro, don't say that. It's like, what happened to free? It's a free country. I'm like, yeah, but it's my house, dude. Get the fuck out. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
It's
like,
and you're also free to judge them. You can pass. You can be like, that's cringe. Don't drop all these slurs. It's cringe. But come on.
We want to like. The thing is too is like if it was specifically people purporting up the problem, and it is to an extent purporting up capitalism. These people will actively go against their own capitalistic ideals for their grift, right? You know, like because hey, we want a free market, but it's our free market, right? When the free market goes against us, it's not what we want, right? You know, like that is I think the biggest like kind of tell of all of this. You know, I did want to kind of bring it back and ask like, I just feel like a lot of this is the Twitter noise sphere kind of influencing people, because when people are in their own bubbles, they tend to think that, oh, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm an expert. I'm intelligent. I know all of this. And the culture around that app has built these people who feel like they got to quote, retweet, and dunk on everybody, right? They have to watch these like things that are high on impressions, but low on content and low on engagement value, right? We have the entire news industry existing on this one platform that amplifies news that is going to the least amount of people, because Twitter has 500 million users versus Instagram's 1 billion, right? 1.5 billion, right? And TikTok's 1 billion, right? Two apps that are gargantuanly larger, right? Than Twitter's user base, but that is the one that makes news. I just feel like it's a metastatization of all of that.
That's a hard word to say.
Well, I mean,
yeah, you're right.
I'm working really hard.
It's hard. That's a tough
trying.
Speaking of the of what you pointed out there, like the difference between, you know, what's happening in social media versus what's happening in the real world. Lance, I saw you were at the one of the marches, or there's a march, but one of the protests. Yeah. So, you want to like summarize what that was all about and why you were at?
Okay, so Canada, the entire country had a nationwide Save the Children rally, aka an anti-trans rally. This is the largest one, I think, of any scale in like the G7 that was organized in every major city across the country. I'm really happy to report, though, that even though it was funded heavily, and you can look this up on pressprogress.ca for all those sources, heavily funded by Christian nationalist groups, Christian fascist groups, like right-wing think tanks, Heritage Foundation style stuff. The Vancouver demonstration I was at, thousands and thousands of people supporting trans people, and a couple hundred baddies that like wore down to like 40. Like the few that were there eventually were just like, ew, you know, kind of like you just didn't want to. It was just gross. You were surrounded by like Nazis and far righters and weird shit like that. So that one, tons of love, and that was a common story across the country. But there are also some horror stories of some small towns and some smaller areas where people got fucked up. There were rocks, bottles, full-on beatings, shit like that. Yeah, like it actually, it's one of those really scary things where, like, depending on where you were, things turn violent, unfortunately. But overwhelmingly, for the most part, this had most of the major politicians were calling out the hate. Most of the people across the country were in support of trans people. It was a big failure for the far right. I'll say that, because in the end, it looked worse for them to try and do this whole like march for the kids and the whole.
So they did this this march, and it was specifically
save the kids,
the LGBTQIA plus community. I want to know what was the saving the kids about? What was that portion? Like, I'm missing it.
They marketed it as basically keeping LGBTQ plus indoctrination out of schools, because there are certain school districts that have aggressively started fighting this kind of stuff. They paired off with a lot of different communities, a lot of religious communities. So there was obviously like Orthodox religious, like Muslim communities, Orthodox religious, like Christian communities, all very anti-LGBTQ plus, right?
Oh, so they really
horrifying speeches. Yeah.
CRT over there, and all that Ron DeSantis talk and all that. I didn't even know y'all get down like that over there too. See, this is ridiculous. They got kids out here holding up signs. Don't even know what they're holding up signs about. This is what you call being indoctrinated. This is what that is. And what they want to say, things that are not even really truly an issue right now. They're making it an issue, but they won't focus on the true issues. And it's them and how they're actually teaching kids how to be, how to hate, right? How to grow up and start bullying people, and start Nazi groups and start hate groups. This is what they're doing. This is what they're teaching over there. So that's unfortunate. I hate to see it, but I'm glad that you were a part of the protest and speaking volumes about what is right and pushing against them. I love
I was right behind Antifa. I got to meet Antifa. They were all dressed in all black and they had black umbrellas, and they were following around all the right-wing press with umbrellas, being like, this person is a right-wing infiltrator, so everyone knows the umbrella will show you the bad people. I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Like good people.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
That makes me a little bit sad that it's America's stupidity is spreading, or in this instance, maybe the UK's stupidity, right? Because I feel like they're way worse.
They OG.
The
blueprint.
Are we pro-American? Like, our stupidity is our stupidity.
Hell, no, America is terrible. They're terrible. They take everything and make it worse. But the originators, the blueprint, we gotta.
Yo, hey, I'm Indian. I will shit on the British all day.
Okay.
Every day.
Hell yeah.
If I got
Canada a huge pass here. They're totally capable of being complete idiots all on their own.
I see. I don't
need to.
Full on
this past week showed that we show up as counter protesters and drown these people out. So if anything, it shows that there's actually more goodness in the real world. No, it doesn't.
We're gonna have like a civil war between like Matt and David over Canada and the United States.
We're just playing around. No,
which one is worse?
I mean, I think the ultimate point here is that the shit online, like there definitely is, in my opinion, I think more good people than bad people. So
yeah,
when the rubber actually hits the road, and you see, the counter protest that we saw, it helps you. It gives some hope to
you see, Matt,
to society.
The fact that David could believe that, out there in Canada is different, because I can't feel that. I can't relate. I feel like there's, here, I just feel like every day afraid, because I feel like everybody is just our world here in America is just so. It's so bad. It's just so bad.
But America has a functionally but that's what I'm saying is, like, I think that there's definitely bad spots. I'm not gonna act like it's like there's good and bad spots. There's definitely a bad spots, but it's also metastasized by the fact that there's an entire industry that's built to freak people the fuck out all the time. I was gonna tell you, David, did you see the clip of Sneeko at that fucking baseball game?
I covered that this week, actually.
That shit
Did I bring that up? Let me find that again.
That shit told me two fucking things. I mean, if you want me to wait, I'll wait till you play it.
Yeah,
but like But like, that clip was fucking.
It killed my soul. I watched David's video on this, and it like made me depressed. Not because of David, but just seeing like the video. It was because like
I'll let you know, David, your videos don't make me depressed. I have me on again, please.
So in case, just to, I guess, properly intro this, because a lot of people really don't know who the hell Sneeko is, despite the fact that he is massive platform. But he's somebody who I believe came up under Mr. Beast, but then I guess I forget if he was fired or kicked out or whatever happened.
No,
but then
no, he didn't come up under
No,
Mr.
he's
Beast, I don't
no,
think.
he
Didn't he
didn't.
work for Mr. Beast
He's
for a
been in
bit?
YouTube. No, he's been in YouTube for a really long time. He's actually like a young YouTube star breakout who then started switching from being a child star, well, not child, but teenage star on YouTube to doing street interviews and stuff like that. And then those street interviews started getting more conservative. And then, as legend has it, his partner at the time wanted to engage in group sex. He didn't want to do it, but they did it, and that's what made him super angry and red pilled because he had group sex with his partner.
Having the tea, honey.
Yeah. I have reported a bit on this, and as a result of all that, he got super Andrew Tatey. Then he literally started hanging out with Andrew Tate, Aiden Ross, doing all of the red pill, MGTOW, women are trying to ruin us with their pussies, kind of shit like that. He's also terrified of pussy, but that's a totally separate thing. But yeah, they think eating pussy is scary. They have a whole video on it. It's really weird.
Oh, what the fuck?
Eating pussy.
Yeah, I don't think we need to get that.
Yeah.
What
the fuck?
Yeah, I'm giving you all of it. This is all public information.
Anyways, here's him meeting some
Really
young
quick,
fans.
I have to say that is the gayest shit I've ever heard, fellas.
Here he is meeting some of his oldest fans here, 12 and 13-year-old boys. So
You guys are
let's check this out.
What'd you say? Fuck the woman! Fuck the woman! What?
No, wait. We love women. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody.
Okay.
No.
All gays
Yeah,
should
fuck
die.
gays. Yeah, merch. Preach.
Look at his face.
What have I done?
Exactly. What have I done? He knows how
I
bad
don't.
this
I
looks.
think he's playing it up for the camera. I don't think he cares.
No. Because
what have I done?
No,
though?
he wouldn't have taken him out. No,
He would have engaged it. He would have been like, hell yeah.
Yeah, he would have immediately like
He's
that's
embarrassed
too
by
good
it.
of an opportunity if that's your whole fucking personality. Like, and you'll see that with like a lot of people when celebrities
I
meet
don't think
kids
so.
who. Bro, like there's a whole.
I mean, his whole thing is being a villain. So if he's gonna play anything up, you know,
series of Bill Cosby having kids say the darndest things and him being like, "What?" Like people will say, people who are shitty when they are confronted with their own shittiness will be like, "Oh," sometimes, right? Because you don't know how you sound until it's So
right.
like the two things it taught me is A, how bad that influence is, right? And the fact that the and B, it's a grift. Like it's it's such a fucking grift.
Who uploaded that video? Where'd that video come from?
No,
where'd that video come from?
Somebody
That's a good question. I'm
What-
not sure who did.
I mean, the way he looks at the camera, it's clearly his. It's clearly his
his
people.
people.
If he was embarrassed by it, he
It was
wouldn't
probably a
upload
live
it.
stream, though. It was probably a live stream.
It's a live stream. So, but
This guy
I'm saying,
live
like
streamed.
he's looking at his person like midway through that interaction. The first thing he does in the interaction is immediately go to the guy's like, no, we love everybody. And as soon as he's confronted, he's still looking at the kid because again,
He's
it's either A, afraid of the repercussions because dude, this guy is so homophobic and so fucking sexist all the fucking time. There's no reason if that is your entire platform and that is your target audience that you would at all try to like discourage it like twice in a row. That's not saying that he's a good fuck that guy, right? Like he's fucking insane. He's defended the indefensible time and time again, right? But like
Extremely
it
anti-Semitic
shows
as
that it's a
well.
grift. The other 100%. It also shows like why it shows why the appeal is there. Right, you have a lot of like.
It's edgy to them, right? It's edgy memes.
Yeah,
like Sneeko even does a bit afterwards. He had a full sketch where he was in prison with all of his friends, and they just kept on doing this joke where they just talk about murdering trans people, and that's the bit, and it just goes on and on and on, and it's like that's the whole sketch, and like no wonder kids who watch this because like not everyone on the internet is this terrible. Like it's going to go viral on a bunch of social media. That's why to them it's all memes. Like kill the gays, all this kind of stuff. Like lol, right? That's what you want, right? The same thing happened to iDubbbz when people would say the N-word to him, and he's like, "Why are you doing that?" And he's like, "Because you say it, right? And you think it's funny."
Also,
and you
this
think
is
it's
how
edgy,
he defends it. Like this is how he attempts to defend it here. They are children and obviously joking. This is how I was at 12. But if it sounds egregious to you, blame the flags in the rainbow flags in their classrooms. Blame the media for emasculating them. It's your fault for forcing an obvious agenda, not these kids. Boys will be boys.
Bro,
again,
this
he's
motherfucker.
Yeah,
dude,
just evil. He literally, the kids are saying, "We got that from you," right? And when he said, "F women," and he literally says, well, transgenders, right? Like he's looking at him like you told us to believe that, and we're telling you.
He was looking at him for confirmation. Yeah.
So
100%.
now it's like boys will be boys. No, that's not something that it's not boys will be. You taught them to say this. You taught them this kind of hatred. You are literally. This is what I'm saying. They're building people who will potentially go out and not only start with bullying and then start to go ahead and shoot up nightclubs that are full of transgender people or gay people. This is what he's creating. And talking about boys will be boys and blame the rainbow flags in classrooms. If you go to a kid's class, those flags are usually there just because it's kids' colors. Like we know people just assume and say this is not that what he's trying to make it become. And this is what I don't like. And seeing that video is very upsetting because those kids, they look up to him. They look up to him and they're cursing and they're saying all these things. And if this people are so worried about drag shows, you need to be worried about who are your kids watching. All of that is problematic. You see that? That's very problematic and it's very dangerous. He's teaching those kids to be very dangerous.
And that it's profitable, that you can, like, this is not like, yes, 13-year-old boys, you say, do dumb shit, of course. But the difference here is that he is showing them an example of how you can continue doing this shit into your 20s and be famous and have a shit ton of money.
And millions of dollars on Kick. And
this
Rumble
is
too,
like,
he makes bank. Like,
and he's famous because of this shit that he's saying. It's not like,
So
I saw one person trying to defend him by saying, Eminem has a song where he's like sexist. Eminem is hold on. He's a rapper. He has talent. There's music.
It's also a character.
Eminem
that's to justify his. But
but like Eminem also as somebody who is a rapper and probably is not going to be. There's not going to be a great opinion received by a lot of people. But Eminem was very clear. Like during his, especially with Detroit hip hop was all built on say the worst possible thing, but it's the worst possible thing. If you go into like a space where people are battling, right? If I was battling somebody and somebody said something that was inherently racist about me, if my opponent said that is weirdly a respectful thing in a battle. Because you did research and you know about me and you know about my parents and you know about my mom. That's a different context, right? The context of Sneeko is it's all built like he believes it. He believes it. There's no interview where Sneeko is like, hey, this is fucking ridiculous and I don't actually feel this way. There are dozens of interviews with Eminem, with other edgy stars of the time going like, yo, I'm just fucking around and you have to know I'm fucking around. They are fucking around. When you're not fucking around and you're serious and you're like, why am I being censored? Because you mean it, you dumb motherfucker. You mean it. Like,
it's very
and that's why, like, and I mean, that's the difference. Like, this is why he's famous compared to someone like, a rapper, whoever. They didn't get famous
Also,
because of the shit they were saying.
Yeah. But there's no comparison. Like,
a lot of
people will search to compare any of it. Like, we know what rappers do. I'm not saying that it's up to you. Don't let your kids listen to certain rappers. Don't let your kids listen to people like Sneeko, whatever. If you don't like it, don't. And this is the thing, they're building up. I never knew Eminem to build up little like minions to go out and
no, exactly.
No,
it's music and
he has a whole song about like don't fucking do this. Like let's say his most famous song.
This guy is out here creating. Look, the kids these kids are speaking to him as if they're on his level, and they're saying like you're saying to do this right. This is how this is how we need to be correct. Like this is how we need to treat people and F women but specifically transgender women or men. And that's problematic. That's problematic.
It's sad. It's deeply
well,
sad.
and the key difference though between any other types of media like movies and music is that he is not just like saying something and it's being parroted. He is teaching. Like there's an ethos that underlies, like it's an ideology. Like if I watch a movie where they're cursing and I'm a kid and I say curse words, that's different than me listening to some guy reinforce these terrible things that yes, gays should be put to death. We hate women. Women are bad. So it's actually like it's literally indoctrination, grooming, if you will.
It's grooming, yes.
And what David, you made a really great point about this in your video that the perverse incentives are driving this. Like there are so many people who are purposefully farming negative engagement because they get a lot of money and a lot of clicks. It's why we see like Just Pearly things talk about why women shouldn't be allowed to vote and why Hitler is maybe good, or I want to hear what he's saying. And like there's so many of them now because
about it.
There are incentives to do this. Like all of us know, being in the same space, we know that we could be exponentially more noteworthy and have so much money if we just said terrible things. Like the incentives are so perverse. This is why it keeps happening. And now these kids know that, hey, I could be a millionaire like him if I just get on camera and say fuck women. I mean, it's really troubling.
Sneeko has also been caught on camera trying to pick up a 14-year-old.
Oh Jesus! I don't even think that's like I think the ethos is, again, like, it's when you're 13, you want there's a thing that we do with kids where, like, we try to, like, infantilize a lot of things that, like, look, I grew up loving, like, anime, manga, and rap, and I grew up in Irvine, and Irvine was like, all of these are terrible. Panic at the Disco is everything, and we know that that's wrong. So, like, you know, a lot of those things when you infantilize, like, into like video games, where like, oh, this is for kids. It's not like, we can't take you seriously if you like this, right? People start to become very, like, in their own head, like, oh, fucking, well, I have to make it more adult to prove it to them, right? Like, I'm serious. Take me seriously. And when they see people who are making, like, maybe not making meal, but are public figures, just the fact that they're a public figure, right? And they're able to say this thing and get attention, then kids are like, oh, I can get attention doing this thing, right? I think the good news of this is that how many of you still believe something that you felt when you were 13? Not a lot. A lot of things. There are a lot of things that I felt when I was 13 that aren't fucking true. That were really shitty. And I grew up and I fucking learned, right? That's not
actually
a
had good
for sure
politics
thing
when I
that's
was
going to
13,
happen.
so.
Huh? Okay.
I'm sure
everyone
I'm the exact same person, actually.
Everyone except for Matt. Matt was going around at 13 like,
way.
listen, one day Twitter's going to have a wrong impression rate, and I'm going to be really fucking pissed off about it. But that's the good news. I am more worried about, like, that clip is troubling. I'm more worried about fans who are just a little bit older, like literally like 2 or 3 years older in high school, because high school is formative. High school, a lot of people have the means to start streaming or to start doing things or to start to try to make YouTube videos or participate in online discussions, right? And that is when a lot of this stuff metastasizes and gets really, 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 really bad. I've used metastasize like 3 times. I need a medal. I need something to tell, like, get a bingo card out. But like, I think that kind of shit is the scary part. Is the scary part that he is influential to that specific crowd.
Dangerous.
Yeah, and part of me thinks also, because if you look at the formation of YouTube too, YouTube in its early infancy stages was very edgy, and we have a lot of those, like, I mean, a lot of those, like, what is it, Shane Dawson and all these other creators who were super edgy, super offensive, super fucked up because they were trying to push the envelope to get, right? Oh yeah, to get views. And now it's, even with the shitty people on YouTube, it's still a lot more, like, contained, because the biggest YouTube channels are like Vogue and some older YouTubers and stuff like that. But Twitch is still, like, it's not like new, but it's still, and streaming is still relatively an uncharted space for a lot of legacy brands and legacy advertisements. So it still feels like the Wild West, because you still have people like Dr. Disrespect who are high on there, who's very, very fucking conspiratorial and everything like that, right?
Well, these people are all on Kick.com, by the way. I should add that Kick.com is funded heavily by hundreds of millions of dollars of cryptocurrency gambling. The whole thing is funded by cryptocurrency gambling. It's
And Kick has significant issues with that, right? And so I think part of this is also the effect of, like, not to diminish it, but it's the effect of, like, we're in that Wild West space. And if we have to, like, fight it, we have to fight it knowing that it is a space that is early, and that's why people are doing this kind of thing. I feel like a lot of times people like Sneeko set the tone for what the conversation is, and they just shouldn't be a part of the conversation. There are hundreds of people. There are people who are trying to develop this space in a way that's more conducive. I mean, like, look, I work with Evo, and we're trying to develop a space. Like, there was a huge argument over esports streams for the last few years about, like, whether we want to be cursing like a storm and saying fucked up shit on there, right? Or whether we want to have a little bit more professionalism. And there was a huge fight between that for years about, like, do we want to get sponsors? Do we not want to get sponsors? Right. And we've come to the consensus that, hey, we can curse a little, we can do some stuff, but it's got to be, these are the rules, right? Until we have a subset of rules in a standardized culture where people are like, okay, everybody's participating now, so the stakes are higher, and people like Sneeko look way worse on their platform of distribution, then we're gonna have more kids who are just jumping in and thinking like this is the way to do things.
I mean, the good thing is that Sneeko was kicked off YouTube last year, so he's
Oh,
now
good.
he's now just on Rumble and maybe on Kick. I don't know, but
Yeah, but Rumble's not doing well. Is Rumble doing
But
well?
they're still gonna give money to people like Sneeko.
they give money to people though. They
Yeah,
they actually
and-
pay creators like contracts. Like, so it's a little different than how YouTube operates, but. But still, like it's good to see that YouTube is sort of upped its. I mean, YouTube has a shit ton of problems. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I complain all the time,
And
but
do.
they have they have it tried to improve somewhat around the edges. But I want to see like a massive expose on like the algorithm and especially the past 10 years of the algorithm, like what the people behind it, like what they didn't see or did see coming and didn't care. And the incentives there, like there's so much that needs to be said because there is so much secrecy around the YouTube algorithm.
Shadow
We
banning,
all
the
have no
algorithm literally
idea.
chooses who you could be talking about the same thing. Like, I always say this. I have a show, like it or not, Saturday mornings. Check it out. But we're all Black. We talk about the same great production, beautiful. We talk about the same things that another platform can talk about, the exact same things. And sometimes they take Black talking points just to talk to have conversations. Nobody Black on the show, but they'll push that out there. And evil things that the right says, right? They could say a lot of things. They could take a picture of me and say these really rude and nasty things about me, and they'll let that get monetized. They'll let that be, but they'll let that stay there. But if we say anything, if we say a word and that's like against the right or something, I mean, they'll flag it. We can't.
Or if you play their own clip, it'll be flagged on your platform, but they're fine to monetize it. Like,
I got
it's completely
limited.
insane.
I got the freestyle of the news from last week got limited like yesterday because of the Russell Brand clip. I found out. Like,
oh wow,
yeah. I can understand to an extent, but like that is the whole YouTube content ID system is bad. I've talked about it.
Yep.
Like it's like
Oh, yeah.
it was billed as this thing like where like, hey, if you're a copyright holder or you make art, you can make sure your copyright is protected. But as somebody who is a musician, my copyright isn't fucking protected. Are you kidding me? Like that, the way that system operates, TikTok kind of like just lifted the system and does it on their platform. At this point on TikTok, if I upload a song of my own and I try to make a video with that song, TikTok will take it down and mute the song because like I had a song go viral on TikTok and then I uploaded it to DistroKid and it was doing really well and then it got muted. The video got muted because I uploaded the song and it was just like, oh, you don't own the copyright. And you're like, I do own the copyright. And like, well, we don't know who you are. I'm like, who am I talking to? Like, you're talking to a robot. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Holy shit.
And like that whole system is like there are people who can upload songs that are not theirs and get things taken down. Right, we've seen people like what is it? Wasn't Aiden Ross doing that shit for a while, where he was like fucking just copyright flagging a bunch of channels to just make a little bit of because people will dispute it and won't dispute it in time. They're so scared of the copyright system that these motherfuckers just make a ton of money, and then by the time you got everything in escrow, it's too late. You know, and then YouTube will also diminish the views of that video because they're scared about paying somebody they don't know who they're gonna pay. So it's a giant system rife with problems. That being said, Kick is worse. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Kick. I know some people who have gone to Kick, and if you're paying people to be on your platform and they're not making a revenue shared kind of thing, I feel like that's an example of you don't have the infrastructure there to also to compete with YouTube. I think YouTube's biggest competitors like TikTok or Instagram at this point, right? Not even Twitter.
Yeah, there's no real direct competitor for YouTube. I mean, I guess the closest would be Rumble, but there's no real competition there, right? And that's behind, there's billionaires behind that, like Peter Thiel. So that's why they're able to sort of afford to pay creators to be on the platform to try and create this right-wing YouTube that they're trying to build there. But yeah, there's no real competition for
broadcast and streaming is more of a competition to YouTube now because YouTube because like YouTube's I think a lot of the issues with YouTube right now are similar to issues that broadcast had when it kind of matured at that point, right? Where it's just like a bunch of obtuse systems that the FCC put in place that people were just not happy with, and so they moved to other platforms like stream. Oh, we can make HBO, we can make more violent shows on HBO and everything like that for this pay-per-view system, and then everything else. So I think those are the main issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we get to super chats or what? It's 10:30. It's about time.
I hate that I can't. I can't. I want to read some super chats. Like I want to be able to.
Oh, you haven't met the criteria yet?
Not yet. I think not yet.
I think you will. Enough of these podcasts, like every week, the minutes will kick up. And
look,
you'll get there.
if it was on the page that I usually use on the Benjamin Dixon show, I'm pretty sure we could have. But here on since I'm
wait, I could restream. We can restream this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on your page.
What the fuck have I been doing?
Did you not know?
Yeah, you can stream it live.
We probably should have reached out and told you. I totally spaced it though. I'm sorry.
No, because I know you guys restream it. So I'm like, I don't want to restream it. It's not. I'm not a guest ever.
Oh no, go
so like I didn't want to.
Well, you're here,
spread
so
it.
you can
Spread it. You're sending the signal out there.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Yeah. Next
But
time.
next
I'm
time.
sorry for talking too much again, guys.
No.
I'm sorry.
I love when people come on here and talk. See, it helps us, rest our mouths as well.
Yeah, but I have
No pun
ADHD,
intended.
and so like I'll say the same thing like 9
Yeah, me
times.
too.
People will be like, Jesus fucking Zed, please. You said
No, I'm a
metastasize
talker,
38
so-
times at this point.
I get it. Mastatization. What's the word?
Metastasize.
Okay.
Mark my words. I'm gonna be watch my videos for the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna be saying that fucking word.
I just want to see like one thing of Mike being like, oh, and they have metastasized.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And I'll be utilizing that word on everyday conversation, just talking to
Yeah.
regular people. My mom don't even
I'm proud
speak
of you.
English, and I'll be saying it to her. Okay.
I'm proud of you. Rebecca. I'm proud of you.
I got one last question for Zed here, because I am really shitty at fighting games. Do you have any tips to not be shitty at fighting games?
Oh, so many.
What's
many.
a good
What do you
one to
play?
get it? I feel like Mortal Kombat's approachable, but I played a bit when I was a kid.
Street Fighter 6 is the easiest fighting game to get into right now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat's fun, but it is like a very like kind of like rigid game. It's fun. The true answer is just to like that sounds so basic, but like have fun with it a little bit. The thing I would say, if you feel like you're really bad at it, is most people, when they've been kind of trained to play like fighting games, they're playing it like, oh, we have to just mash the buttons, and I don't know. It's really not
what I
that.
do.
That's what I
It's
do.
not.
Yeah.
Like
for me, it's more like
like
I gotta memorize
play
combos,
fighting
and I don't have a brain like that.
You
Like,
don't
I
need to
can't.
memorize combos. You don't need to like
Okay.
so literally most of the game, like combos are when somebody fucks up and you just want more damage. That's like the second part of everything. Most things you have to memorize is doing like single hits. Like you have to poking people, like kind of going in and out of their range and everything like that. It's a lot like boxing. I would say the best thing to do is like, you ever play like a beat 'em up game? Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or like The Simpsons and shit like that.
Shredder's
Okay, so you
Revenge,
notice how
so
like you have people like Donatello's got like a long staff and he can poke people from far away, and you have Leo. That's kind of the way you have to think about it. It's like just a beat 'em up game where you switch sides when you jump over the other place, right? So
Okay.
I would say that like learning the distance between people is kind of like all you really have to do, right?
But there's
Don't
also like a
think
chess game to it, isn't there? I know Street Fighter specifically. Like it's sort of
Right.
like a chess match where like if one person's pulling something, you have to think about how to counter that. Like there's a lot of
It's like
depth
rock
to
paper
it.
scissors. It's
Yeah.
literally just rock paper scissors, right? So like
Okay,
I'll give you an example, and I'm sorry I'm getting so nerdy. So like let's say we're both playing Ryu, right? Ryu has a long ass medium kick where he crouches and he does that, right? He's got like a little strong punch, right? And he's got a sweep. So most of the time you'll see Ryu players, right? There, this is the stage, this is my camera, right? So you see Ryu players will like kind of like dance in and out of each other's range, right? And one of them will medium kick, right? And then like they're trying to get to where somebody accidentally walks into their medium kick, right? Or like, and then sometimes I walked in, I got hit, right? And sometimes the Ryu player will throw out a medium kick, and you're like, uh-oh, I'm out of range, and the guy will see the medium kick and he'll sweep it, right? So like it's easy to react to. So it's pretty much just playing like rock paper scissors. I say just have fun with it, right? Because you should just like things that look cool. Like if you're like, oh, this character looks cool, I just want to try it. Get your ass beat for like 5 minutes. There's places you can go in the game that everybody is just learning and sucks, and it's a great fucking time, right? Don't go to places that are like where everybody's like crazy good and expect to climb up that hill. That's tough. There's people who are just learning like you. It's super easy. I will teach you if you'd like. If you want to jump in, I'll teach you. I just don't want you to think it's too complicated. It's not. super easy to jump in and have fun. And when you want to start getting better, all you have to do is just not go on autopilot and try to like play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent. You'll figure out what is rock, what is paper, what is scissors very quickly when you play that game. And Street Fighter 6 is like built for people who have never played a fighting game. There are things that are like there are mechanics that are there that like at the most beginner level work at like the highest level. And like if you'll see like top players play, they'll get hit with like a very beginner tactic and they'll just be like, motherfucker. Right? and it's a very exciting it's a very exciting. I love those games. I think they're the most fun to watch.
It seems like a really cool genre to get into because of just the obsession around it and just the hype around all those games. But it's something that like I play basically every genre except fighting games because it's just like the one thing where I've never really been able to break through. But
maybe I'm gonna mash them buttons up and I'm gonna kick you in your face and I'm gonna punch you and I might win. That's
Zed, what would you say to somebody who, in theory, was traumatized as a kid because he played with his dad when he was 5 and he was just Chun-Li in the corner kicking constantly for like 5 minutes? And I would die every time I try to approach him, but always die because he just wouldn't stop spamming that. What would you say to somebody with that trauma who maybe wants to get back into it?
I would say it's time to heal, Mike. It's time.
I was distraught, or not me, but
in full Robin Williams voice. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
I think the biggest problem is, especially from being in part of that community, is like 4 years, like Street Fighter 5 was like the big game, and Street Fighter 5 sucked. Like I couldn't fucking tell people. Like my girlfriend would be like, "Oh, you like Street Fighter 5?" I'm like, "Yeah." Should I play it? No, don't be like me, right? And like it got better. It became a good game, but so many people were like, "This seems so complicated and so complex and hard to fucking digest." And like the thing about Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat is they're fun. If you see somebody like people are booting them up at parties at this point where you can just fuck around. And that's what it should be. You don't need to get a fight stick. You don't need to get.
That's how it used to be back in the day. Played Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo. And at a friend's house.
Like,
and
you know how like everybody has a Smash character. Everybody plays Smash or Mario Kart.
Smash,
that's
I do play. Yeah. That's how it
Smash
is super easy to. I mean, it's just not much. I mean, there's strategy there, but in terms of getting into it, I think it's super easy to get into.
Street Fighter 6, I think, is about. It's only a little bit harder than the latest Smash game to get into.
All right,
I would say that. Yeah,
that's good.
Zed, I'm curious, do you play any non-fighting games? What's like your non-fighting recent fave?
Bro, there's like 9 games out right now that I'm like.
There's a shit.
There's a lot, yeah.
I'm playing.
Here's what I'm playing. I'm playing Armored Core. Core. I'm playing Baldur's Gate.
Same.
I'm playing Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk because I love Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
I heard that was good.
I missed it for so long.
Sea of Stars.
No, I'm not.
Are you RPG guy? Sea of Stars.
I have
really
an RPG. I know it's like a great JRPG and everything like that. I want to get into that. I am curious about Cyberpunk 2077 again. And I'm staying away from NBA 2K because I know that's a fucking money pit. But yeah, man, I'm playing. Those are the main ones. I'm playing Armored Core, Baldur's Gate. I want to get through because that's like a 70-hour game, and then I still haven't beat Tears of the Kingdom. So that's like a fucking.
Okay.
I'm on the final. I'm on the final battle there, and I have this issue with games. I get to the very end.
You're just on the final
playing.
battle now. Didn't you start like a year ago or longer?
I know, but
that game is so good.
So many games have come out where I'm like, I put it down, I get back to it. So, and then I have this issue with games where it's like a long game, especially. I'll get to the end and it's like I'm afraid of beating it.
That's true, actually, me too.
Dude,
I don't know why I do that, but it's like I put it down.
Lies of P.
I started playing. God damn it!
That right now.
It's okay. It's good. It's good. I like it.
I like it, but it's.
I love
I suck at those games.
I'm a huge, it's so weird because I am one of those people who plays every single game on easy, but I love all the Dark Souls games, and I'm fucking loving Lies of P. But it's very, very difficult, obviously.
It is, yeah. I love the Neo games a lot. Those are really hard, and then
I haven't tried those yet.
They're great. They're really, really fun. And then the one game that I started playing and I kind of want to get into, but I don't really feel like it is like Starfield. Like
I tried that. I couldn't get into it. It was very boring.
I'm 2 hours in.
You know what's crazy? I started that game and I saw pronouns and I was so mad that they tried to current day us.
California current day shit.
Pronouns.
proud.
Yeah, I got
Before
7
this-
hours in,
bef-
and I couldn't take
you-
it anymore.
You guys don't know. Like before this, I looked like a giant egg had just become a person, and I was just really mad at pronouns. That was it. But no, those are the kind of games I play.
Awesome. I feel bad. I feel like we're putting Binder and Rebecca to sleep here. So.
You are. You really
I
are.
play-
Because the only thing I know, like
I play
said,
Fortnite.
Super Mario Kart, and
we're losing
games
viewers.
Like 1999. Okay, Street Fighter and them. That's when I was.
You gotta
playing.
jump
I would,
back into
I would
it.
click 99 buttons because that would work for me. I don't know.
What if we did?
anything
What
about
if we
you're
did?
talking
What
about.
if we did a leftist mafia tournament of like? 'Cause you want to know? You want to know what I wanted to do?
I
wanted to do like the Street Fighter has a custom character thing. I wanted to do where like I just get a bunch of people to do a tournament, but they get assigned another person to make a custom character out of, and that's who they have to play. So they have to make like different characters and shit like
That's
that.
a good idea.
So
Hmm,
yeah. So and
Only
it's
if you
just
guys let
basically
me smash
roasting.
all the buttons.
Any gaming stuff you want to do, I'm definitely in.
There's no requirements.
I'll be
Rebecca.
smashing
You're
the
good.
buttons too. Just slapping the controller.
That's it. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me nothing else. I need to just be able. Don't tell me a combo. Don't tell me a hit.
You don't need a combo. No, it's fun. Everybody can hang out.
Okay,
It's
good.
a good
Then I'm
time.
gonna be fighting the way I need to fight, or
Good.
whatever the game is.
I got a chance then. That's what it sounds like.
You got it. Yeah, you got it, James.
David, you
I'll
never
train you.
know. Okay.
I'll Mr. Miyagi play you guys. I'll give you like I'll let you play Pong for like 3 weeks. You're like, why am I playing this? And then you'll be like amazing at Street Fighter.
Well, thanks again, Zed, for coming on. You were awesome.
You
Awesome
were
guest
awesome.
once again.
Yeah, we're switching to super
Come
chats,
back.
but you are free to stay as long as
You're
you
free
like.
to stay. I
Please
feel
go
bad
very long.
These can go very long. That's
No,
so
no.
Oh,
do
I'll
not
stay
feel
for a
like
little
you have
bit.
to stay. Oh, if you want to stay,
Listen,
sure, yeah.
This goes super long, but yeah, there's probably gonna be comments for him. But since let me
there are a
start,
couple.
I got 3, right? Because I made them go and send it
There
to
you
me
go.
personally. So those of you guys who didn't see on my stream, I'm not monetized yet, but I will be. We're almost there. And so since I'm not, I said to give to my Cash App because I want to read some comments too. The boys get to play all the time after the show, and I want to read comments too. So let me read my 3, okay? Because y'all know I gotta go to bed. So to let's see, Pinkerbell, who says Matt and anyone else who likes wrestling and debates should check out What You Can Do Fight Night Saturday on What You Can Do, who is on YouTube. What You Can Do is one of our supporters. So shout outs to What You Can Do. And that was from Pinkerbell. Man Gang Tang, something like that. He said, effing GOP degens. You summed up the entire GOP strategy immaculately with we're fellowshipping. Don't forget that UAW workers voluntarily gave up their COLA rights, promised they'd get them back. Nah, good watching you on your stream, sis. Thank you. And Like It or Not fan, Like It or Not is my show. Like It or Not fan said, just want to say your Whitney Houston karaoke was fantastic. Laughing my ass off, but truly was amazing. No joke. Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I did that. I did that karaoke real nice. But so those are my 3. If you guys would like to donate, you guys can donate through the link on my page or through Becca's Voice on Cash App. But y'all know what time it is. I'm always here for a good time, not for a long time. So I'll see you guys on next Thursday, and you guys can catch me on Saturday on Like It or Not Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. And Zed, I can't wait to see you back. I'm gonna follow you, and I'm gonna go on your page so I can see you rapping because it looks like you.
Awesome.
I like
It is
your
really
energy, so that means that the other stuff must be really, really good.
You're gonna love it.
Oh,
It is
thank
really,
you.
really
good.
It was really wonderful to talk to you. I loved a lot of your points, and I was really, really appreciative for the discussion. Thank you.
Oh,
And I can't wait to see your
thank
show
you.
too.
Yeah, you definitely. It's a good show, so check it out. I love you guys. Mean it. See you next Thursday.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna follow right after Rebecca because I don't have a monetized channel. If you want to help me out on that, go to youtube.com/@cinemasurvivors. It's a new channel I started. I'm doing documentaries on movies. I love movies. I'm talking about movies. Come help me out. Go to youtube.com/@cinemasurvivors.
Oh, bro, I want to be on your
that was
fucking
about.
channel. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dog.
What happened
Yeah.
though? Did you?
Oh
lose
no, I have multiple
monetization?
channels. No. I have tons of channels. This is a new one. So I'm just
Okay.
I'm doing the trick.
You
I
scared
can't
me for
remember
a second.
How many
Either Matt or
channels do you
David
have
took-
that you have?
I have a lot. I
you said
have
you
a lot of
tons and
projects.
tons.
I
Are they
got
all
projects on the
monetized?
go. No. But this one is one of the last ones not to be. So I want to monetize it. So I
One of
heard
the
that
last
if you
ones not to
stream
be? Do you got like a portfolio of like million subscriber YouTube channels or something? Are you like raking in the YouTube cash or something?
Wait till Lance starts his new channel, The Turfs, and it's just really like all
That's
right.
where the money's at. That's where all the money. I gotta hide these shirts and everything. But...
It's just and he starts beefing with his main channel like this surf guy's bullshit.
Starts commenting on his own videos.
He does have a good British accent, so it would be believable.
Yeah. Just Mrs. Doubtfire's the whole thing and just flips the camera.
It's actually a brilliant idea. You keep dropping these like $1 million ideas, Zed. You better watch
I know.
it.
Yeah.
That's true. This is why I got a job at Apple.
Oh, are you getting the new phone?
No, he did in the past. That's his like is one of his.
In
he worked at Walmart
before,
yeah.
Before I worked at before I got the Philip DeFranco thing, I was broke, and then I got a gig at Apple Music, and I did TikToks and stuff like that. So I did TikToks for
okay.
Billie Eilish and
Right.
Lizzo and everything like that prior to her, the thing.
Cancellation.
Yeah.
The rightful
I heard she got uncanceled. I heard.
Really?
I missed this entire. Well, I didn't even hear about any of this cancellation. I missed everything. I don't have.
I don't pay. I'm like also by the way, like I'm actively like not paying attention to Twitter at this point. I'm not trying to like
Same.
I feel like
It's
every
Hitler's
single
bunker.
time I've gone on there, I've just wanted to quote retweet dunk. The one thing I gave myself like the other day was like I looked up like tweets from like years ago with people being like, "Yo, fuck this Zed guy for like his music and shit like that," and I was like. I just want to let everybody know you all fucking missed, and that's all.
You should reply now, be like, "Hey, it's 2023, bitch." You still
Bro,
think
I
the same
did.
fucking
I
thing?
did. I just said like you all fucking missed, and I posted like a screenshot of the Evo album, and then I fucking posted the Mortal Kombat thing today, and I was like,
"Oh, that's amazing."
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not here for this
Awesome.
fucking. Yeah,
Drag
see
them,
me in 10
King.
years. Yeah,
Yeah, agreed.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bring up the first chat here so we can roll through
Bye,
them.
bye, friends
Yes.
and family.
Good night, Lance.
Take care, Lance.
Love
Have a
you all.
good
I'm so
night.
happy to be back. So happy to be back and miss all
Yes,
of you. You're all-
the family's all together again. We were broken apart for 2 weeks.
for a hot minute.
Don't worry, I held it together. I'm the glue that holds this family together.
I mean, we could have had the week off. It would have been fine, but it's okay.
It's a great
We're going to
show
be streaming
last
on
week.
Thanksgiving. We're never taking a
I
week
heard
off
it was
again.
a good
Great
show.
show.
I've heard great
People
things.
loved it. People were clamoring for more. They're saying,
Has Ray Vonna been on when we've had a normal
She
show?
is
or no?
not.
She is not. No.
Okay, I don't know why we haven't invited her yet. We should definitely invite her on a
Right.
regular
And
episode.
neither is Dan. And I mean,
No, Dan
Dan
has.
was on.
Dan was on.
Dan was on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When?
it was like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Not that. Yeah. I was going to say
It
he
was-
was
it was
on
more recently.
before Zed's first appearance.
That's
Before
a long time
me!
ago. Then
No, it
That's
wasn't
a
that.
long
No, it
time
wasn't that
ago.
long ago. It's like 2 months ago. A month. It was recently.
It was very recent.
We
Yeah.
definitely had Dan on. I could find the episode, but whatever. Narrator with 921.
we
Very
still got to
specific
upload
number
all
here.
these episodes as
Do
podcasts.
I remember the
We're just-
21st?
We're just 42 episodes behind in uploading.
Do you remember?
Whose is this narrator?
Oh, it's for me, I think. Hold on, let me pull up my thing. Hold on, one
Jesus
second.
Christ, you're not even ready? God damn.
I'm not ready. No, excuse you.
I'm ready.
I said 25th. I said the 25th.
It's for me. Narrator with 921 says, "Do you oh, because it's September. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Do you
yeah.
remember?
Very clever narrator.
Dan was on episode 34. There we go. 1 month ago.
Not long.
Episode
21st
34
night
was
of
not
September,
1
man. I
month
fucked
ago.
that
Because
up.
if we do one episode a
I'm
week,
looking at what YouTube is telling me. YouTube says streamed 1 month ago. Maybe they're off. I don't know.
It's not.
But they
How
said-
how would it be 1 month ago if it was?
That's what YouTube is saying right now. I'm not saying
it's
it is.
six,
Well,
seven,
well, then
8,
blame YouTube. Don't
9
blame me.
episodes ago. 9 episodes ago.
So it was probably just under 2 months ago, and they say 1 month. That's how YouTube operates.
No.
You can go look at look at your page. Tell me what it says. Streamed how long ago for episode 34? I bet it says 1 month.
I'm not
Donald
invested in
James.
this debate.
Donald
It's the
James.
lamest debate ever.
Member for 21 says, "Let's go." I thought the letter hack was going to be here also as a guest. Letter hack is going to be on for the
Yeah.
debate next
Next
week.
Wednesday, which announcement, we're doing an extra stream next week, Wednesday, for the GOP debate, where we will get brain rot together and play GOP bingo again.
I'll probably jump in and then I'll put like a cardboard cutout of me in a chair and I'll go to bed.
There you go.
I'm sure it's going to be as
Just
lunatic
get one of
as
those
last time.
glasses with like the eyes open and just be like,
Yeah.
Bay photo.
Bay Photo with a super chat. Matt, how nice of you to let these other guests on. Maybe you should continue to let them co-host the Binder Mafia show in the coming weeks. I'm thinking about it. I got to see how they.
Did you rename the show when we were gone? The Binder Mafia?
No, I didn't call it that. This is the first time I'm hearing that term. Yeah,
he renamed it the Leftist Mafia. I was listening. I was like, you motherfucker.
Leftist Mafia.
Mafia.
Right. Yep. Last week I also was the sole host of the Majority Report because everyone was sick. So I basically held down 2 shows last Thursday. I'm a beast.
Wow. Yeah, you were holding it down. Damn.
Wanda with a $20 super chat, still rewarding you for last week when you were abandoned by your Leftist Mafia crew. Seriously, good to have the entire Leftist Mafia crew back. Welcome back. But that was awesome last week. Thank you. Yes,
I think that with our record, there was a lot of people that probably thought some of us weren't coming back just because of the way that this show's gone. So I'm sure they're all relieved to know that we're all back.
Just this week, just like a Matt, just like, I'm sorry to say, but we don't have anybody.
Green Jester with $4.99. Thank you, Mike. You have to release full versions of your outro tracks, please, pretty please. I've been meaning to do that for a while. I just have not had the time to sit down and upload them, but it's coming. Subscribe to the second channel.
Outro tracks?
What outro tracks?
My incredibly famous outro tracks. At the end of every single video, so people want like the extended versions of those or all of them in one place. Where I have like the Trump impersonator, or I take sound bits from Ben Shapiro, dry P word, yada yada. So yeah, I'm gonna do that at some point. I just haven't had free time, but it'll happen. I promise. I just don't know when. Former future goblin, $10. Mike, you need to discover the joy of trains. I'm not opposed to riding on trains, although they do derail a lot in the United States. But I'll still ride them. I'll risk it if I have to. I'd rather do trains probably than any other form of transport.
I wonder what's safer, a train or a plane?
Plane.
Yeah, I would say definitely a plane. Yeah,
plane is the safest way to travel.
Yeah,
but like
plane is safer than vehicles.
Yeah. Trains, like, I went to go visit my mom like a week or 2 ago, and like I went to the train station and there was just a delay for no. I was like, why? Because somebody stepped in front of a train and got hit.
That happens on the subway. Yeah, people.
Dude, like a lot. Yeah. So
that's ominous. It's like where did that happen? What?
I feel like that question is not really a question at that point. Like, what's safer, trains or planes? I think it's definitely planes at that point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you include those numbers, yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Wanda MV, nice to see you, Wanda, with $4.99. Welcome back, Mike. The Super Chat Marathon wasn't the same without you. Well, thank you. It feels good to be missed and wanted. I appreciate that, Wanda. Always happy to hear from you. Is this for me?
Yeah.
I think this is from Matt, actually.
No, this is
David.
for me. Tom Boson with a super chat. Real question. Has Mike ever used a porta potty? Wait, why? I don't...
Claustrophobia, I'm guessing.
Right, yeah.
Begrudgingly, yes. But that doesn't really make me claustrophobic.
Unless someone else is in there with you.
Yeah, it's the germs that... The other part of my brain, like the OCD germs, that's the more like triggered element. But in terms of claustrophobia, if somebody locked me in, obviously, yes, I would get claustrophobic. But if I'm just taking a quick pee, it's not a big deal at all for me. I don't even think about it. But it's just more nasty than anything.
I don't know who this is for.
For me, Daredevil with a super chat. Helium is depleted and shouldn't be wasted. This is referring back to our Zeppelin conversation.
I don't know. I got plenty of helium right here. So
yeah, I was about to say it's gotta be that. Yeah.
That's fun to pull it every now and then.
I love
Snack
it.
Panther, member for 3 months, says, "Welcome back, Mafia," and Zed, glad to see you back as well.
Oh, thank you, Snack
There you go.
Panther. That's very high. That sounds like a Lauren.
Yeah, I was gonna say were you putting on like we're gonna put on the voice that did it? I love it.
That's for me. Soul Life became a YouTube member for 1 month. I'm not sure why those are back to back.
Derek Espinoza with a super chat. Binder, gotta break it to the crew that last week you changed the show to Matt Binder and the Other Leftists. Great job holding it down last week. You're being a little bit too nice to them. I just said I actually changed the name to Matt Binder and some other guys didn't even have the respect to give them the title of being leftists.
Bro, were you like Tom Cruise risky businessing it out here on the fucking leftist mafia?
I did do the show last week pantless, so yeah.
Good. I would.
No, that's why it was demonetized.
I just want to let. Hey, Matt, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
For me, Celeste, $4.99. Celeste always likes to troll, so it's going to be a troll. Happy Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. IKT. What's IKTR mean? I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
We will be the majority soon. By the way, my birthday was on Tuesday. Well, happy birthday, Celeste.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Love Celeste.
What was Tuesday? The 18th or no? Monday was the 18th. It was the 19th. Okay.
The 19th, yeah. Me again. Snack Panther, $5. Thank you. Says Jimmy Dore stole Louis C.K.'s act. Louis C.K. is the original jack-off comedian. I think I know what you mean by that. Tony Crump, $20 super chat. You get an applause for that one. Yeah!
I hate that applause so much.
I know. I need to get a new one. That sounds like you can hear the people in like the soundboard or in the sound what's it called, the sound room, like recording that. It's just so fake. But Tony Crump says today we need to send Trump and Republican Congress to the island of misfit. What is that? Nighties?
I've never seen that word before.
I've never seen that word. Okay, I thought it was dumb for a second.
Is it a Russian word? I don't know.
It looks Russian, like nitiets.
Nitiets.
I don't know.
Tony Crump!
There you go, Tony Crump. You got a sweet auto tune. You should save that for your phone. Maybe a little ringtone.
I know that's amazing. Okay, this one is for me. Maybe Zed can help me out. Ignar Husky with $5. Zed, do you want to take it away on this? To quote Matt.
I feel so bad doing it, dude. Like,
you can turn on the auto tune and it'll make it funnier. That's amazing.
That was great.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, he did it.
We're gonna get demonetized again.
Oh, that's funny.
Foresto with a $10 super chat. Never underestimate people's willingness to defend content. An anime got in trouble for the MC doing essay to classmates he kidnapped. All the Facebook comments were, I don't understand why this is a problem. Jeez.
That's like a constant, like, I think Beastars had that where like the main character like sexually assaulted somebody and was like, yeah, that's like not, it's not great.
Justin Watt with a $20 super chat. No comment either. Just wanted to throw me a $20 bill. Thank you so much, Justin.
Wild.
Why don't you hit me one of those hit Justin with one of those sound effects for me, David?
That makes rational national sense.
There you go.
Well, that's
Justin
the appropriate one.
Is this one better?
When you have rational national priorities.
No, you don't want that one? All right, you get some applause. Here you go.
There we go.
Here, some of that manufactured applause, what we like.
Yeah, yeah.
Arcadillo.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
There you go. That one never gets sold.
Kodiak with $1.99. MTG sucks. You know, I've never played Magic the Gathering, but
we're all going there. Every single person in this chat.
I did play Magic the Gathering back in the day.
See, I was more Pokemon. I was Pokemon. How about you?
I don't remember. It was so long ago, man. It was so long ago.
Can I tell you something? I was for a large period of time before I got into Street Fighter, I played Yu-Gi-Oh at regional tournaments. Like I was like really into it. and some guy tried to use it against me in a battle, and then I responded, and then he quit rapping the next day. So there you go.
Yeah, I wasn't as big as regional tournaments, but I was doing the local tournaments, going to the
Let's
local
go.
comic shop and stuff like that.
Nice.
Back in the day, there was a card and comic book stand at like a flea market in Long Island, and we'd go out there every other weekend, and they would do tournaments. It's a good time. And I was the youngest. I was like 13 years old playing with a bunch of like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds.
It's like every card shop is like 5 like 13-year-olds and like 7 30-year-old men who are like really into this.
It's a great game, I remember.
Yeah.
What happened was I got really into it over the summer with people I went to camp with. And then when I went back to school, none of my regular friends thought it was very cool, so I had no one to play with. So that was the end of Magic the Gathering.
I never got into any of those card games. I feel like I could have, but I never
Marble
really.
Snap is very fun. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, actually, yes. That's why I was thinking I probably could have gotten into some of that stuff because I played some Marble Snap and that I stopped playing because I feel like I could maybe just get too sucked into this, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped playing it, but
yeah.
There's also this is kind of different, but Bot and Kaido's just got a remaster, and that's card-based RPG play. So I'm curious if I would like that.
Justin
with
a
sometime, man.
Oh, whoops. Justin throwing me an extra $1. The $20 wasn't enough. You had to give me another $1. I'll take it. Thank you so much, Justin. Or what we might have just seen is Justin accidentally sent me 20. Got his refund from YouTube and then sent me the $1 he meant to send me.
I rescind your auto-tune, Justin.
Cutthroat Juggalo, $20 super chat. Well, you get one of these. Which one do I have here?
This is truly mental illness.
Oh, not really.
Oh, that's mean, David.
You hear that, everyone? If you send David $20,
1 and 0,
he'll say you're mentally
2.
ill.
Oh, I saved this
you
one.
got
It's
the
one of
2?
my favorite. Yeah.
1 and 0 and 2.
There you go. You got a tool for your $20.
Like that?
Bro, Cutthroat Juggalo is such a fucking. That name goes so hard, dude. Cutthroat Juggalo. God damn.
Anyways, he
bro.
says left is best. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Also for me, the Matt Mercy $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Matt. Says I love Jon Stewart, but how is what he and Colbert and Oliver did in 08 really different than what Mara was trying to do last week, other than the name changes?
Because the difference was that right now it's like, because honestly the circumstances were also different in that strike. What they were striking for was completely different, right? And that was an internal decision between the WGA and the IATSE union as well, right? The IATSE union is also striking just in solidarity and everything like that. So, for all intents and purposes, the circumstances are different here. And also at the time, like what they were doing was a little bit unprecedented. They were trying to find ways to pay people salary and everything like that. They didn't have the giant fund they did now, like to the extent it is. The circumstances were just 100% different back then than they were right now for what the actors and the writers are striking for, especially, and especially also the content, the amount they are making the pace they're making content at is completely different than it was back in 2008. When there was also a recession going on.
I'm glad you answered that because I completely forgot like what happened in 08.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here to respond to that.
Yeah.
Who's this for? Dynamic editor.
I believe
That
Matt.
was for me. Dynamic editor with a super chat. Jose just released a video called Steven Crowder's Fake Rumble Views. Watching the pre-live loop that ends up counting views for the stream. Wait, what? Who's Jose again? That name sounds familiar. I know they're a YouTuber.
Watching the pre-live loop that ends up counting views for this stream. Yeah, there are Rumble definitely fakes their numbers. I mean, you could just tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with that, if you just look at how many likes, how many thumbs up the videos get, the ratio to thumbs up to how many viewers says is watching makes no sense. The other day I saw a stream that had 8,000 concurrent live stream viewers.
Yeah.
300 thumbs up. doesn't make it. I get 300
But
thumbs up on my streams when I got 250 people watching me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
The other thing is also like I think I said this last time is like when you bias a platform, when you advertise a platform to one side of the political spectrum, just regardless of what it is, it's gonna die because you're trying to advertise. Like Twitter is a large part of it is like why would you jump on and engage with it in a meaningful way? There are people who are still there just because they have to be. Why would you engage with it in a meaningful way if you know somebody's putting their thumb on the scale of what's more relevant or what's preferred on the platform to other places, right? Rumble is very clearly, it's not only a much more conservative leaning platform, it is a conservative run platform. It's like it feels very tilted towards, hey, we want to get that audience there. And as long as that's there, the share of that is going to be not nearly as much as YouTube, because some of those people are still going to go to YouTube. Like a percentage of those people are still going to go to YouTube. So you're never going to beat your competitor. It'll be a nice little side business, right? But it won't get bigger than like, it's like Vimeo. Vimeo is not for politics, but people who are giant cinephiles loved Vimeo and swore by it, but they would go to YouTube when they wanted to watch certain scenes because
Exactly.
they're there.
Yep.
Who's this for?
I think Matt.
Is that for me? Let me see. Yeah, it is.
It's
the
more
Prof with a $10 super chat. Y'all hear about the news on Crowder's employee pay scale? There's a correlation between salary and scrotum bruising. 7 figures, unblemished. Six figures, blueberry muffins, unpaid interns, plums.
Oh, damn.
Louder with Crowder.
Oh my God. That's wow.
That's great.
This is for me, Parker with $5. Shout out to Keena Collins, who recently announced her third-party run for Congress in Chicago, District 7 of Illinois. She came so close in 2022. Danny Davis is the incumbent Dem. That's really good to hear. I'm always happy to support progressives who are running. I don't think that I actually brought her on my show. But yeah, really happy to see that she's still at it, because sometimes it takes 2, even 3 tries to win. So that's awesome. Thanks for shouting her out, Parker.
For Resto with the super chat, Hassan's Bobert video got taken down for nudity. Well, we didn't show the video.
Mine got demonetized, but I did not play the video. I just did a still image and censored the breast feeling part because I knew that YouTube would crack down. YouTube demonetized my video on student debt like from a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know why. Maybe because I had like Republicans want you to suffer in the title, but it's like, I mean, that's really pushing it.
That's so ridiculous,
obtuse, dude.
Yeah. It's very inconsistent. They were doing good for a while where I don't think I had a demonetized video for like 2 months maybe. But yeah, I'm hit with a bunch randomly.
The only thing that get really demonetized now are these podcasts. every
time.
They say almost every one get like
Really?
Last week I think what I know a couple weeks ago definitely was, but it's just it's ridiculous.
Dude, the U.S. Tennis Association took down my video about Coco Gauff.
Seriously? They took it down?
They took it down. Like they completely blocked it. So like it was like the best performing. So like after Evo, I've been like, yo, fucking, I have to like rework because I took such a long time off. And that video was doing great. And then I woke up in the morning and it's gone. It's like completely gone. Because the U.S. Tennis, because I used like literally 8 seconds of like her just being like, what the fuck? And then they're like, yo, you can't do it. And then after manual review, they can't reinstate it. Blah, blah, blah. Super fucked up. Yeah,
that shit's so like when you put so much work into something, and that's how that shit's
for
very
8 seconds, dude. And I couldn't even trim it out. That was the worst thing, because like somebody else had like content ID'd the song, which I had a license for, but people, again, that's an abused system.
Yeah,
right. Like because I disputed the claim for the tennis thing and the other thing, I'm not allowed to trim anything from the video. I'm not allowed to take I'm fucked at that point.
Yeah,
I was super shitty.
Yeah, it's weird how whenever I post music that I bought the license for, almost every single time it gets copyright claimed. But I'll respond with like my receipt number, like, "Hey, I bought this," and then it usually gets like taken off like within a day or so.
Because there's a bunch of people who are doing type beats, so they're going to these big firms to just content ID everything. But the problem they don't know is that like when they do that, it's actually not great. Especially for certain platforms like TikTok. TikTok already has so many issues with copyright infringement and law and what's working and what's not working, it just reduces the amount of users you're going to have on your platform and reduces, honestly, like everything working. Like it's in the best interest for YouTube and TikTok and all these people to reformat Content ID and work on the copyright system, but all of them are so overwhelmed with everything else that they just don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And it's I think that's going to become an issue. It's not a huge issue yet. It's a fucking annoying, really shitty issue right now, but I think that'll become a huge issue in the next like 4 or 5 years, you know, especially with AI and copyright and all that shit coming up.
Yeah, that's a great point. I believe this is for me. Yeah, Ignar Husky with $10. Thank you. Question for Zeb. Zed. I read the misspelling. Sorry. Oi, Zed. I
don't
see
know who
those guitars.
Zeb is, but I'll answer for him.
Oi, Zabe. I see those guitars. What music do you play? I'm the local music head in the community and like hearing what guests are into. You look like an alt guy or a grudge guy. Cheers, everyone.
I am a rapper, so that is very different. Those guitars, the guitar is and the violin are my girlfriend's actually. So I went to
Whoa, look out, people! We got a girlfriend guy here. Guy's got a girlfriend.
One of them. I went to Berklee College of Music. I was the second rapper in history to get into Berklee College of Music. And my girlfriend is a former opera singer from Boston Conservatory.
No kidding.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Damn.
Speaking of, because I don't know.
You guys collaborate? Have you done like opera, hip hop combo?
Kind of. We did what is it? Well, Run Back City for the Evo thing, which is really, really big. She's doing a lot of the background vocals and everything like that. And then I also help her songwrite some stuff. She's working on that. She's trying to get into streaming and a bunch of other things right now. But she has a really great voice and she's a very, very good songwriter. So
wow,
you know.
Nice.
Have you heard of the Laverne Cox hip opera that she put out?
I've heard of it. I haven't
It's
heard it.
Incredible.
Really?
And shout out to Laverne who watches the show. Actually, we love Laverne.
She watched last week.
Check it out.
And it was just
She watched last week.
Yeah, she watched it last week too.
I'm gonna shout her out again. She
watches every week.
Last week she dropped a $100 super chat for me.
She dropped a $100 super chat. Oh my god!
What the hell?
She's a big fan. She's a big fan. I'm a big fan. She's a big fan. It works out.
Damn. Yeah, Laverne Cox is great. She watches the show. She knows all of us. It's kind of like my little flex. But yeah, she put out a hip opera
awesome, dude.
like 2 months ago, and it's really good on her channel. I would highly recommend it.
I would love. Yeah, I would. Why is my auto tune still on?
I was hearing a bit of
yeah. I was like, man,
I would love to see
I thought
it.
Spicy, yeah. Like, yeah, no, I would love to see it. I wrote a hip opera like about arcades like a while back, but I never fucking finished it. But no, I'm down, dude. Like, I feel like that needs to be. I like. I'll be real. I played Usnavi and In the Heights at one point, and I did like Hamilton, but like I feel like there needs to be like more rappers writing musicals just in general. Like more people who are known for rap writing kind of musicals and stuff like that. I mean, technically, like Good Kid, Mad City has a story and everything like that, and could be adapted or something like that. But you know, you gotta a lot needs to happen in that format for it to work.
Yeah, this one's also for me. $2 from Mang Tang. Love Mang Tang. Zed's my boy. Wu Tang is for the kiddos.
Yes, let's go Wu Tang. I think I actually have to go right now, unfortunately.
Oh,
no problem. Perfect timing.
No guest is expected to stay for this. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, I was just trying to help. I had
a just like, hey, sit there while we tell you how much money we made off of your appearance.
Well, I appreciate being on and making you guys a lot of money. So yeah,
thank you.
No, I'd love to come back on. I had a great time, guys. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, anytime. Take care. Real quick, tell everyone where to find you.
Oh, you can find me at youtube.com/@Zaid Tabani. You can my @ is @ZTMusic, ZAIDT Music. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, your mom's house, everywhere. So yeah, just let me know.
Awesome.
That's where I catch at David's mom's house.
Yeah. Well, I was like, hey Matt, what's going
Don't
on?
drag me
Like, what
into
the
this.
fuck are you doing here? I came here to use Metastasize 4 more times. All right. It was great.
Right.
It was great being on here, guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. And
Yeah,
David, let me
take
know when you want to
care.
play Street Fighter, man.
Yeah, I will. All right.
Later, y'all.
See you.
See you. Bye.
Hadouken.
Why does it do the zoom in thing?
Yeah,
because it wants to embarrass
too.
us.
All right. Where am I here?
This is for me, former future Goblin, $5. Who else is psyched for Bluey the video game?
It's crazy. I saw so many parents who are game journalists like go crazy this week over this thing. Maybe my kids just a little too young. I had never heard of like I think I'd seen
I don't
Bluey
know
before.
what that is.
But I didn't realize that Bluey was such a massive thing until this video game announcement.
Parents love Bluey because the parents on the show, especially the dad, are actually good parents, which is rare, I guess, in a kid show.
Okay.
Usually the parents are like the comedic foil, right?
Yeah.
But the parents on Bluey are actually like really good parents. And it's a good show. Like the writing on it's phenomenal for a kid show. It's
what's
very
the
well
age
done.
range for?
How old is your kid?
2.5. Well, 2.5 almost. I mean, getting near 3. But...
What does he watch? Does he watch TV? Does he watch like Sesame Street and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, he likes Elmo. He likes Miss Rachel. He likes Blippi.
He might be able to handle Bluey.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's not like it's not anything like it's not anything like out there. It's for kids.
Isn't Blippi the guy who put out a Harlem Shake video where he had explosive diarrhea on his friend's face?
Yep.
Okay.
But then he made a turn to be he became a kids content creator.
And then after that, okay.
did not know about that.
Yeah,
and now the funny thing is
there, David.
This is like a decade ago now, though that happened.
There are now 2 Blippies, which is really bizarre. Blippi is just like it's a person in like wearing like I think it's orange glasses and like, but it's he recently hired like a second person. I think they did the live show. I guess he had like a live show. So then he hired him for the YouTube as well. So they go back and forth, and it's clearly different people. There's also a different. He works with another girl, and there's 2 of those as well. It's bizarre.
You know the calculation there though is that our audience is kids. They're stupid. They won't know the difference.
Well, apparently kids and parents were pissed off when they went to the live show and it wasn't the real Blippi. It was this other guy they hired.
I mean, I knew he wouldn't. You sort of had a feeling he wasn't going to be at the live show, but I remember because my daughter used to be big into Blippi, and I remember the first episodes where like there was the new Blippi, and it was like what, and she even realized. She was like, "Why is Blippi different?"
It's so odd. They don't even try. Like one guy has a short beard, the other's perfectly shaved. Like they don't even try. Like it's weird.
Blippi is raising a generation of John Fetterman clone conspiracy theorists here with this bullshit, training them to doubt whether or not the president they're seeing is real.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to see an imposter, they should watch Blippi. Forget Fetterman. He's not here for this. Alan Wise. Zed, have you ever played Killer Instinct? I bet you have.
I would imagine he did.
It is a fighting game. So yeah, I mean, I played Killer Instinct. I'm sure he's played Killer Instinct.
Don't worry, Alan. David will refund you that $2 for not being able to ask Zed the question.
Yes. Matt Bender will, since he suggested the idea.
It wasn't my money. It's not good. It's not mine to refund.
You'll just give him $2 because you want to.
This one is for me. It's from Lizzie Bennett, $5. Thank you, Lizzie. You guys should definitely try playing Neo. Frustrating but fun, and Tekken 8 when it comes out. I actually have Neo 1 and 2 for PS5. I bought it a couple of years ago, I want to say, when it was buy 2, get 1 free on some Black Friday deal, and I just never tried it. I installed it because I planned to play it, but I kind of just
I couldn't get into
away
it.
From me.
I think it was free on PlayStation Plus. The first or the second one was. And it's I have an issue getting into those sorts of action games, even Ninja Gaiden, and I don't know. I've never been super into that. I prefer platforming over straight up action games. So I wasn't able to get into it. But it seems like
is it more like a slasher, like Ninja Gaiden, or is because I was assuming it was like a Dark Souls type.
I remember it being more like a Ninja Gaiden, but maybe it doesn't predate maybe not predate Dark Souls, the original, but I don't think it's a Souls-like, but maybe it is. And
okay.
But I think it's more of an action game.
Well, then I was misled then, because I don't like the slashers. I only like the Souls-like games.
Yeah, are. It's
It's very strange.
It's weird that you're bad at games like me, but you love those games. I enjoy those games. I also enjoy them, but I can't get through them. Like I don't have the patience to
I have played every
going.
single one and beat every single one, and that Sekiro final boss took me 6 to 7 hours across 3 days. I was cussing. I wanted to break my controller, but I beat it, and when I beat it, it was like I felt euphoric. Like I felt like a god. But every other game I'm playing on easy, and the second things go wrong, I'm getting pissed off. It's so weird. I shouldn't like these games, but I love them.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Oh, it's for me. Daredevil with a super chat. They say Lizzo's fans split. I don't get it.
They're like split between supporting her and not, maybe?
Is it probably a reference
I
to
forgot
one of
about
her
that whole
songs,
story.
maybe? I don't know.
Just a voice, $10 super chat. Thank you. Says, thanks for staying up late, David. Love you all. Even this old bird loves Zed's work. Take care, all. There you go. Awesome.
Oh, I think we missed one that I had. It's
Did we?
kind of gone past it. Yeah, it's a big one. It's $30.
Whoa!
I wouldn't have missed that. Are you sure it's an earlier one? I would have.
Let
me scroll up.
Slightly far back. Let me see if I could find it.
Did they refund it?
No. Here it is.
Okay, post it.
Rory O'Connor with $30.99 Australian, I believe. Thank you so much. That's incredible. It must be remembered that the alt-right platforms engage podcasters that engage in repeat visual messages, which is a common form of propaganda in use throughout several regimes of the 20th century. It requires regulation. Yeah, that's a really great point. Repetitive messaging is the way that you kind of drill something into someone's head. And even if it sounds stupid, if you say it enough, then people will begin to believe it. So yeah, that's a really great point. And thank you for the very, very generous super chat.
Andrew S. Became a member for all of us for 2 months, it looks like, because there's 3 of these.
Yeah,
wow.
Thank
you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Michelle Reno with a super chat. Were you on vacation, Mexico? That was weeks ago. Weeks ago. But yes, I went to Mexico for, it wasn't a vacation. I mean, we relaxed, but there was also a family wedding. So,
and he came back basically hypnotized for weeks with the.
Is that gone now?
It was rough. It's. I think it's pretty much gone. Now I'm super sore because earlier this week, there's a wrestling school around here, and they held an open house, and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm gonna go to this open house."
No way.
They did a like a workout to like give people an idea of like how they, what to expect, and this workout was insane. It was the most difficult thing I've ever physically done. Now you guys know I play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So I could, I have stamina in terms of lower body stamina, but upper body, I got nothing. I'm not, as you can also see. So the workout was, it was like reps of, multiple sets of reps of, push-ups, then burpees, then push-ups, then burpees, then push-ups, then burpees, and then it went to what was it? It was squats to burpees, squats to burpees, squats to burpees, squats to burpees.
Wow.
Went on like that, and then back to push-ups to burpees, multiple
Holy
times.
Shit.
That's exhausting. Holy shit.
Yeah, and about halfway through, I was just like, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's how they whittled you down to the select few.
Right. I mean, you can still, they basically just wanted to see people try and have heart. They weren't expecting people to actually get through it. Like they wanted to just see people do it. So like, they were like, you could, but I was like, I'm thinking, let me see how I feel. And I'm all sore, which actually felt really good yesterday. Yesterday I was like super sore, but I was like pumped. I was like, that felt good. Like, if I keep doing this every week, I could actually, like, maybe in a little bit I could go complete, like, actually do it, keep up with them, and then I'll do it for fun. I'll join the school for fun. But the second day, today, I'm in pain. It's not like, and it's not motivating pain either. I can't move my arms any higher than like this.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what that's like. Squats always get me. Like if I do like a lot of squats, the next 3 days, I'm like I can barely walk up the stairs.
See, my legs are fine. It's my arms. I was fine with the squats. It was the burpees and the push-ups. I don't play anything that requires upper body strength.
You should get jacked. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, honestly, it felt invigorating and good. Like I haven't worked out like that probably ever, but but so who knows? We'll see.
Colt Dog.
Oh, that's for me. Colt Dog with a super chat. Hey, y'all. Do you think a recoverable grant is the same as a loan? My local government seems to not think so. Also, my dog loves y'all. Left is best.
Oh, is that your dog? Oh.
Recoverable grant. I mean, it sounds like it's in the name, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Like, usually, yes, a grant means they give you money and don't expect it back for like a project or research or something. But I would say that word recoverable before grant.
Yeah, that's a weird term.
Yeah, it sounds Orwellian. Like, what does that even mean? This one's for me. Andrew asks, $5. Thank you, Andrew. I am now curious about your characters in Baldur's Gate 3. Mine is Shadow Monk Halfling. Mine is a Warlock Githyanki with a very long turquoise beard and long turquoise dreads with red. And I am not great at the game. And I haven't been able to bone any of the other characters yet. I've not been very successful.
I heard it was like super easy to do that. You haven't.
Wait, hold on. Bone the other characters?
There's a lot of sex in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot.
Really?
I've been.
You can walk
flirting
around
with
naked
characters.
and like it show everything.
Yeah, I did not know. You in the character selection screen, you literally like talk about being afraid of pronouns. You could choose your penis and what it looks like and your vulva. And I customized the shit out of it. I got a banging character.
How's Twitch hanging the Boulder? How's Twitch dealing with
they
the
probably
Baldur's
don't
Gate
allow it.
streamers?
I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
there's no way. It is straight up explicit. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. But I've got to say, I've never played D&D, and it is very overwhelming. There's so much to learn. I haven't really played this type of an RPG. Like at most, I do either action or turn-based. So this is pretty new. Like I haven't even played like a tactical type game. So it's taken me a while to learn. I think I just started Act 2, but then Lies of P came out.
So
and
you're far in then.
Yeah,
is
I want to say
isn't it like 30 hours in or something. Like
no, it's not that far. It's for me. God, I don't know. I'm probably like maybe 12 hours.
Okay.
20 hours at most. It's hard to say because there's been moments where I've save scummed it and like gone back.
Are you playing on PS5?
PC.
Oh, PC. Okay.
Yeah, but it's good. I just Lies of P has me hooked, so I'll come back to Baldur's Gate
How far
later.
are you in Lies of P? Maybe I need some tips from you because I'm on that's the second big boss. The it's like a weird spider guy that like electrocutes like.
Oh yeah. So
I fought him once and I brought one of those companions. It's the first time you can bring like a companion in.
Right.
I fought him once and I got like halfway down. Like I did pretty good for the first time, but it still scared the shit out of me. I don't want to go back.
Yeah, the bosses are hard.
Oh my god, it's just like I got it. I'm happy most of the save points are at least so far are pretty close to where the boss is, so there's no like having to really go through too much. But
here's what I'll say: if you find a spot where a character drops the throwable items that are consumable, farm a couple of those because those actually do quite a bit of damage to the bosses.
Okay.
So yeah, I would consider that. That's what I did for the boss after that. Although I didn't end up beating him that way because I used all my consumables, got him down, and then he killed me. But it does take a shit ton of like if you find the right consumable, like if you get an electric consumable that you could throw at like a fire boss, it fucks them up. So try to find those. That'd be my only advice. Otherwise, get really frustrated like me and just keep going because that shit is fucking hard. I'd say this is the hardest Soulsborne that I've played since like Dark Souls 3. Yeah.
Oh, see, I heard different opinions that it's actually not as hard as some of the other games, but
I heard that too. That's fucking bullshit. I thought it was gonna be like Sekiro or not Sekiro, like Bloodborne, but I feel like the combat isn't as fast as Bloodborne. Like it's more slower, like Dark Souls 3, which is fine. But you have to be very precise and learn the movement patterns of the bosses, and that takes time. So like, yeah, it's not as hard as Sekiro, or probably Elden Ring, but it's probably up there with like Dark Souls 3 in my opinion. But it's fun though. It's beatable. Like you don't feel like it's overwhelming. Like you feel like it's beatable. You just get pissed off.
I beat the first boss in Armored Core 6, and that took me hours and hours. And I feel like that was my accomplishment in gaming for this year. that boss apparently is like notorious, like incredibly difficult. And I don't know how the hell I beat it. I was like losing my mind. But
I haven't played that yet.
It's really good, but holy shit, the game's fucking hard.
That's what I've heard.
I could be here all day talking about games.
Yeah, we've got to start a gaming show or some shit.
We really should. Mr. Rabbit, this is for me. Mr. Rabbit, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, shame you guys don't stream on Saturday because that's my birthday. Turning 31. Don't feel it, but do feel less happy. Any advice on dealing with the inevitability of aging? Thanks. Keep it up. I will say, as somebody who's older than you, that enjoy the fact that you're only 31. You should be very happy about it. And I feel like someone in their 40s would tell me that I'm very young. So
yeah,
it's all relative, right? Like you feel super old until you're actually older and realize you were super. Like I look back and think like, oh my God, I didn't realize how young I was in my 20s. Like what the hell? I can't believe it.
And keep in mind, aging is a blessing because not everybody gets to age. The fact that you get older and older, that's really good. Like I had a friend that passed away a couple of months ago, and he was 1 year older than me. So I was like, okay, the fact that you're aging, you're still here, you're kicking. So it's celebrate it. It's hard to not be a little bit down when you get older, but it's not that bad. It's a part of life, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, we all age. It's normal.
Yeah. I believe in that.
T King with a super chat. Owen Telltale said he would be down to come on the Leftist Mafia if you ever need another left YouTube guest. Always down for. I'm not familiar with Owen, but always down to talk to new people. Let me look him up.
I also don't know how that is.
Yeah, I believe somebody recommended him before. Sounds familiar. In the super chats.
Fly Chopper Fly, $2 super chat. Thank you. Says I'm with David, but question for Zed. What's the movie thing? Do you know what this is in reference to? Can we answer this question? What's the movie thing?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. I don't know.
George Erit or Arit, $5 super chat, and this is my last one, so I could probably just get the hell out of here. Says, don't know if y'all saw, but WGA and AMPTP are negotiating and apparently close to a deal. Doesn't mean the strike will definitely end, but some hopium. I did not see that. Interesting. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that.
Be cautiously optimistic about that because I've seen some people be skeptical about whether or not this is the real deal. But, just watch it closely.
I'll stay for a few more until I want to leave, but this is for someone else.
Tokyo Hans with a member super chat. Got one more free super chat. I must use this wisely. So remember, if you want to support Mike, David, or Rebecca, make sure to send memberships to Matt. And then I got cut off.
Kenzie Page, member for 3 months. Thank you, Kenzie. Zed and Mike.
This is for me, actually. Charlie DeGenemer, yep, with a super chat. Zed and Mike outro collab 1.
I could have got him to say like Humanist Report when he was here and
get him to commit live on the show.
Yeah, I could have got it right then and there. Sometime. Seth Wade, $8. Thank you, Seth. Mike, what was your take on Trevor Noah's questions for Veronica Ivy about trans folk in sports? Thanks for what you all do. Seth from Missouri. I honestly have not seen this. Was it on? Well, no, he's not doing the Daily Show. Is it on his podcast or something? I'll have to check it out because I am not familiar. So I wish I could say more.
Did my super chat stop working or something? Like they just end at like 10:54, and then you guys have a bunch of new ones. What the hell's up with this?
No one's sent you.
What's going on here? This is wild.
I don't know.
People just showing their love for their favorite creators. That's all that's going on.
I don't know. Something's going on. I lost my place. Here we go.
Oh, look at that. Brian B with a super chat. See, exactly what I was saying. Listen to this, David. Matt Binder is the GOAT leftist commentator right now. Bro is on his Jordan
Did you write this
6
yourself?
rings era.
Did you give yourself $5?
Crown and fire. Listen, I think it's clear that someone's about to.
This is you or your dad writing this one. I don't trust it.
Someone's about to, it's clear that someone on this channel is about to have the best year they've ever had. 2024 is going to be the year, and I think it's looking like it's going to be me.
Kowalski just sent me a $2 super chat, so I guess people just don't like me. I guess he did a little test here. This is the latest one, test super chat. I don't know what's going on. It's okay. Everyone hates me. It's fine. I'll deal with it.
Somebody in the chat, in the regular chat, says. I shouldn't say regular chat, it's all the whole regular chat. But anyways, they say I'm having YouTube issues. So maybe it's a YouTube thing where it's not displaying them. Although I'm not sure.
Maybe David's chat is out right now at one of those marches in Canada.
At this time, I don't think so. Did I click this one earlier or no?
Yeah.
This one? I didn't.
No,
okay,
we got
sorry.
this one. Yeah.
T-Types, the membership super chat. I see PragerU and other reactionary content aimed at kids as part of a long-term strategy. We need to offer humanistic content for teens and kids. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. Listen, I'm not an educator. I don't think I'd feel comfortable like that's the thing. Like, I feel like if you're gonna make content for kids, educational content especially, you need to be good at it. You need to. It takes a special type of person and a special type of talent to do that. I mean, I'm this season I started helping my kids' soccer team. I'm an assistant coach on my son's soccer team, 8 and 9 year olds, and let me tell you, that's. It's rough to get through to kids, just to get them to listen and take things in. It's hard. It takes a talent to do that. God bless teachers, man.
And to be fair,
especially,
I think a lot of, I mean, maybe this goes to the rights issue, but I think a lot of the mainstream content is more left wing. Like, I mentioned Miss Rachel. She has like I think her sibling is trans, and like. There's different, like, she's very open and like loving, and like, there's clearly people who are all different walks of life on that show. So
I mean, compared to where the right is now, like every mainstream like kids show is considered left wing, because they're just like kids. It's good to share, and the right's like, oh my god, they're indoctrinating our children.
Yeah, so it just. Normal kids shows, I guess, to them are already far left wing. There's not much else I think that we need to really create. Like, we don't need new propaganda. There is no real propaganda. It's just like teaching kids to be kind,
It's like Barney's out there nowadays going, I love you. And conservative parents are like, the dinosaur's a fucking groomer.
Lebowski with $5. Hey, Mike, what do you think about the Oregon people that want to take Oregon and Idaho border west close to Portland and make Oregon look like a sliver? Nope. Sorry, they're stuck with us. That's just mostly dirt anyway, so they can go fuck themselves.
Who are these weirdos?
There's like a big movement to like have a new state. It's like there's like 5 of you. Fuck off. Like, no.
Ridiculous.
The prof asking me a very targeted niche question that shows that I excel at my experience.
This is a me or David question. I'm offended.
What the hell?
Which game system is best to get? Xbox?
I'll answer this if I get those $2.
I will say, I mean, we have an Xbox One in the house for my son. We have
an
a
Xbox
Switch
original or Xbox One, as in like the last
see, he doesn't
Xbox.
even know the differences. I bet he doesn't know the difference between an Xbox Series S or X.
I play with my Fortnite with my son. Me on a PC, him on the Xbox. Well, it's got to be the generation before the newest Xboxes.
He can't even name it. See, Prof, this is what you did. An amateur.
Xbox One, right? Isn't that what it's called? Xbox One?
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah. I'm just giving you shit.
That is the wrong answer, though. But anyways, keep answering.
A Switch in the house.
Switch is a good one.
Yeah.
We're pretty much a non-PlayStation family.
Okay, well that's the wrong answer.
Yeah, I was gonna
to answer your question, Prof. It depends what games you're into, right? So if you like, I don't know, this we could be here all day depending on the genre. I would argue that right now, even though PlayStation tends to be my kind of home console because it's like where all the next gen stuff's coming out. Switch, I think, has the best library right now. There is going to be a new one next year, so if you care about the latest and greatest, maybe wait. But in terms of if you don't care about that, you want a good library of games, Switch, I think, has the best library right now. I mean, it's like 7 years of just tons of great stuff. But if you want like the best, bleeding edge visuals, I would say PS5. If you want to get Game Pass on Xbox, it kind of gives you like actually, PlayStation has their own with that as well. But Game Pass, it's not as good because Game Pass puts up their exclusive latest releases on there as opposed to
and they
PlayStation.
just raised all the prices
They just raised. That's right. Luckily, I was already locked in for the next 3 years, so I have.
Oh shit!
I have what the previous price was.
I canceled that shit.
You canceled it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I get so much value. I get so much value out of PlayStation Plus, so it doesn't matter. But.
Did you call PlayStation your home
console? It's like where
home console. Okay.
Where I play most of my games, but I own them all because I'm a crazy person. But I tend to play my PS5 and Switch the most.
I would recommend a Nokia N-Gage, specifically Super Monkey Ball and Tomb Raider. Really great. You could use it as a phone. It's amazing. So that's what I would recommend.
You hold it's like a taco when you talk on it.
It's
fantastic.
Did you hear that someone because the new iPhone 15 is USB-C. Someone, and if you get the Pro, it's apparently like a mini game console. Someone connected the phone to their TV and played the full version of Resident Evil on it. Like,
you can connect it to the TV. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way you want to do that, because unless you have one of those backbone controllers where you put the buttons on, because playing a game on a touchscreen, like playing Resident Evil on a touchscreen, no.
I'm gonna get the new iPhone because I haven't upgraded my phone in like 5 years, and my shit is almost dead. Like the battery lasts 2 seconds.
I have an iPhone. I think it's 11, but it's like working. It's working fine. I haven't.
I don't know which one I have.
I'm still good.
I'm probably gonna upgrade because I take a lot of photos of my kids, and this camera is pretty damn good looking.
That's the one reason to do that.
And I have the Apple card. I have an Apple card, so I just basically pay the monthly install. It's like something like $30 or $40 a month.
Oh, then whatever.
Yeah, that's how it is for like I'm on my in-laws plan for like Verizon, and we just take it in. You just pay the monthly thing. You don't have to like spend $1,000 on the phone. So yeah, I'm gonna upgrade.
Here's a Mang Tang.
That is from me. Mang Tang, thank you again. $5. The Turf's Times, pretty solid idea, and I actually lulled at that. Gotta go with a virtual mask though. Triangle head, or is that too on the? Speaking of triangle,
she'll probably
head,
sue you for copyright. So.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother.
Oz Media just put out a video that I watched, and it was fucking heartbreaking. Where
I heard of this video, and I did not want to watch it because I don't want my heart broken. So
I feel so fucking bad for him. Like he almost like is in tears in the video. Like,
wait, who is
I
this?
feel so. Oz Media. He was part of Sad Milk, and he was Illuminati's ex. And she's basically like he could lose his house. He's facing legal threats. She's trying to shut down the video that he's making. Like is
it still going on?
It's still going on. Yeah. He says he's working on a video with the expectation that everything in that video is going to be in a courtroom. Like it's bad. It's so fucked up. But I won't say more than that because I am afraid of this motherfucker sending us a cease and desist as well. Because everybody who talks about her gets one. So I'm
crazy.
Yeah.
Cold Dog, who's this?
Oh, it's for me. Cold Dog says, by the way, she'll be in her first parade Saturday. LOL. Oh, your dog? What? There's a dog parade where you are?
That would be incredible.
I want to go to a dog parade.
Right?
T-types.
T-types with a $20 super chat for me. Wow, thank you so much. How about a live stream roundtable by and for leftist musicians? I say this as a leftist janitor and father in his late 30s making music on the side. P.S. I have a song targeting Door coming out in a few months.
That's cool.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually working on. I've been for a little bit getting back into the music game too. I'm going through full blown midlife crisis right now, obviously with soccer and wrestling and music.
You and me both, brother.
I feel just fine. I'm nice and young. It's all good.
Andy Boom with a $20 super chat. Wow, David is still up. I know he has said some pro-landlord things, but hopefully his time on this will disabuse him. Of
What did you say about me last week that I wasn't here for?
No, I didn't say anything. You said something about landlords months ago, and it stuck with everybody.
Oh my God!
I don't even remember what he said.
I don't even remember what the hell this was.
I would be triggered probably.
I think we were watching some video or something of a landlord say something, and you like gave him a pass as a landlord or something. I don't remember.
I guess it wasn't that important. I don't know.
Well, we at the Leftist Mafia don't condone that behavior. We condemn David in the strongest possible terms.
I accept your condemnation.
Kenzie Page with $2. Thank you. Good night, y'all. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you so much for watching, Kenzie. Really appreciate it. I'll check out the Trevor Noah clip you said.
Who wants to pronounce this?
Syriza leader resigned.
No, it's Syriza.
No, the name. Pronounce the name.
Oh, it is Ayavabag. I don't know. That looks very, very not English. Syriza leader resigned.
Looks Greek to me.
Hey, could be Russian, could be Greek.
Laugh.
Resigned, unknown who studied for U.S. think tank GSIS, Goldman Sachs, and businessman is taking over the party out of nowhere. Mind blown. So I am not familiar with Greek politics at all. I haven't been following it, so I can't comment on that, unfortunately. But yeah, the corporate takeover is not a surprising development to me of any country because we live in a global capitalist hellscape.
Syriza is the or was. I'm not familiar with what's going on.
Like the commie party, right? Or were
Syriza was the like the far left party there. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I heard the last thing that I heard was that they were disappointing and doing austerity, right? I could be completely wrong. So take that with a grain of salt, folks. The recent cult fall. And by the way, thank you, $14.99, Rory O'Connor. I believe this person also sent the $30.99. So thank you so much for all the super chats, Rory. You're very, very kind. The recent cult following unleashed by RB is a good example. Russell Brand. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure what we were talking about at the time, but yeah, he does have a cult following. And anyone who's in that like conspiratorial zone, they always have cult followings. So yeah. That was my last.
Venetia David with a super sticker. Thank you so much, Venetia. And that is my last, too.
I guess the rest are all mine. Look at that. It does work.
There you go.
Kowalski says, test super chat. Thank you so much. Fly Chomper Fly, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you so much. Tim Cox says, I worked for Marianne Williamson and went public with her abusive behavior on Twitter this week. Would love help sharing my story. Well, Tim, I guess we will... I haven't covered Marianne really at all.
This campaign or the last one? Because I remember people did that for the previous campaign.
I think I've already heard stuff from this current campaign.
Also, Jen Dyes of Courage News. She released a really big independent story herself as well about Marianne Williamson and her campaign. There's a lot. I have not really looked into it very thoroughly, but I haven't really been covering the campaign as well. So, yeah, I'll check it out, Tim.
Mm-hmm. Wanda MV, we still love you, David. Thank you so much, Wanda, for your $4.99. Brian B says, I'll show David some love too. Armored Core is great. It is great. I just wish I wasn't terrible at it.
This This is really weird. I stopped receiving super chats. There must be something wrong with the YouTube super chat.
Was it a
system.
30-minute block? I think what it is people are used to me leaving early, which is totally understandable. But now they're still here. La-di-da-da. Thank you so much for your fantastic name and super chat. J. Cass. I assume these are all mine. I'm just reading them all.
Mm-hmm.
J. Cass. Go to sleep already, David. LOL. Oh, in about 20 seconds. And Tim Cox. This campaign, unfortunately. All right. There's your answer. I don't feel like Marianne has much power right now. I haven't heard much of anything about this campaign. Like it's just, I don't know. It's almost like
well, that was my issue with her to begin with. Even if you view her as someone who's seems nice and sweet and has good politics, there is no movement behind her or her campaign. And when you are running as a movement candidate in a primary against the heavy hitters, like the president of the United States, then you need that movement. Like people have to understand, Bernie Sanders could not have done what he did if he hadn't spent those decades building his name up among the hardcore progressive base as the guy. Their guy in Congress.
And you could trust him because you can go back and watch videos from like the early 90s and like see him fighting for the same thing. Like, this guy's like legit.
I know a lot of people just learned about Bernie in that 2016 campaign, but as someone who was active in politics well before 2016, very much before 2016, I knew Bernie Sanders as the one guy on like actual leftist in the Senate. And, one of a few when he was in the House. People like to think of him as an overnight success. Sure, no one could have seen his campaign doing so well. But that's because I think they didn't see how much he had built his name up among that base over the years. Like, it might have been caught people off guard because they weren't expecting it. But it wasn't something that just happened overnight. It was only possible because he became the figurehead of a movement because people trusted him because he was one of the voices out there for so many years. Marianne, whatever her politics may be, she got in. She got into the game in 2020. I mean, I'm sorry.
Also why. And I'm gonna plug something that's coming up that no one knows about because I haven't talked about it. But Cornel West, I think he should have ran the Democratic Party, and
absolutely.
I'm not saying he would have beaten Biden, but I think he would have more attention. He could have actually had a movement somewhat because he has that legacy. But I interviewed Cornel West today, and I asked him many questions, and we have different opinions on strategy and voting, and I asked him about that Democratic Party and why he didn't do that.
I can imagine. I'm really excited to watch David pillory Cornel West for focusing too much on race, not enough on economics.
It's funny. It was like, I mean, half of it is about the Green Party run, like the latter half. The first part is more about everything else. Like it was like a 30-minute interview, and I was like, how am I going to interview him? Because I don't agree with the Green Party run, but I also love him. It's really like, but it was like a really good conversation. We were, obviously we have differences and of opinion on certain, strategy in terms of like voting. But no, it was a great conversation, and it's either going to be up tomorrow or this weekend. Maybe tomorrow, since I want people to watch it. But so you should all check it out. It was I think a fun conversation.
It's not surprising that you both got along, David, considering the fact that you both downplay vaccine injuries. So
wait, did Cornel West downplay vaccine injuries?
I do think Cornel West is obviously. I mean, we've talked about it on the show. He is legit. He's who he is. I think obviously as he's not experienced though in playing the modern politics game of knowing who's doing what, who's grifting what, who's, and so I think he was taken advantage of a few times. He's an older, he's an older guy now too, so he's not following like the online, what's going on online. He's a old school progressive, old school leftist. So I think he certainly is. I respect him immensely, and whatever happens with this presidential run, even if I disagree with him at the end of it, obviously his history speaks for itself. This isn't a guy who's making some sort of turn. Just watch the Door interview. He's obviously not making some sort of turn.
Right.
No.
He just made some bad calls as someone who's just not active in the current sort of left scene, I guess. But I think
it's easy to miss.
You interviewed him.
Yeah, it's easy to miss things. Like if you're not online all the time like we are, like it can be easy to miss Jimmy Dore's entire turn if you weren't really paying attention to him. And I talked a bit to him off air about that, and it just seems like he was surprised by Dore. So he definitely did not know that he is who he is. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I will. I'll post it. I'll probably post it tomorrow morning.
Nice. I'm excited about that. I'll have to share that. Yeah. We got a couple more super chats, by the way.
Yep.
There are? All right.
Jay Cass with a super chat. FMK, cheddar, pepper jack, or Swiss cheese.
Easy.
I hate all cheese except mozzarella. So,
oh my God.
None of it. Cheese is gross.
Isn't Emma like that too? Like you and Emma both hate cheese, oddly.
Really?
I think I watched an episode and that came up.
I love cheese.
I think she might be right.
I was just like, how are there two cheese haters in one podcast?
I know.
I hate cheese. I find it gross. It's disgusting.
Really
like, and mozzarella's got to be. It's got to be specifically in something that's like cooked, like a mozzarella. No, I guess I do have those like mozzarella balls that just come in like the thing. Mozzarella is okay. I like pizza, obviously, mozzarella sticks, things like that. Chicken parmesan, but all other cheese. Gross, disgusting. Get it away from me.
Well, listen, I'll answer then, okay? You fuck Swiss cheese because there's already holes in it. Kill pepper jack because it doesn't go on everything, and you marry cheddar. Easy.
Mine is similar. Marry cheddar because it's a staple.
More versatile.
But when it comes to pepper jack, and so I had to look up pepper jack because I'm like, have I had pepper jack recently? How does it look again? I rarely ever have it, so I got to kill pepper jack and I guess F Swiss cheese.
It's very good, but you don't want pepper jack on everything. You just want it once in a while. Cheddar, you can have it on everything.
Pepper jack I could see being good on its own. I don't know, it could be too distracting in a sandwich.
No, it's good. It's really good at sandwiches. It depends on what you're having, though. JCast, $2. Thank you so much. Welcome back, Mike. Hope you had a good vacay. I had an amazing vacay. I did nothing.
That sounds amazing.
I did some organizing on a couple of days, but I mostly just played video games and sat on my ass. It was great. Watched a couple of movies. I watched the new Spider-Man movie. Absolutely loved it. I watched what was it?
Spider-Man movie?
Just the one that was in the Across the Universe.
Oh,
I finally got to see it. Yeah, I watched Cocaine Bear. It was incredible. My dog freaked out at the bear. It was kind of hard to watch because he kept getting triggered by the bear and wanted to play with him. Really great movie. I had so much fun. Yeah, it was great. Really refreshing. I felt great coming back on Monday, honestly.
The last one.
Narrator with super chat. If Biden had not scoffed at debating in the primaries, I'd agree West should have run as a Dem. Well, I mean, they're not going to view West as any threat outside of the Democratic primary, honestly. Just look what RFK was able to do until people learned more about him. He was rising in the polls. Again, no one's gonna primary a sitting president, at least in modern day, with how things are, like successfully primary. But it doesn't mean that they're not worried about a first time. So they would have been more into discussing, probably maybe making a concession or two to get West's endorsement. They know that's pointless now because he's running in the Green Party, which means he's going all the way to the general. And honestly, with the way they've, listen, the Biden campaign without a doubt they're not like a full force of people on it like they are with Republicans, but they probably got a person or two who's just keeping an eye out on what's happening with like third parties. and they see, what kind of voter is thinking about voting third party. And I'll be honest, it's not someone I think the Democratic Party thought they were going to get to begin with. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they view the Green Party and Libertarian Party both as taking away votes from whoever the Republican candidate is.
I don't know. I think I kind of disagree with that. I think they view both third parties as taking away votes from them, including the Libertarians, which is weird. At least that's how you hear the pundits talk about it, where it's like, oh, these who was it back in 2016? They were saying that Jill Stein and Gary Johnson are
they're
the reason why Hillary
together,
lost. Like what? Like no,
so
Gary Johnson voters are not going to vote for fucking Hillary Clinton, obviously. But
most Green voters also are not going to vote for the Democratic, and that's how it usually is. I think the difference with Cornel West is he has more of like a mainstream appeal and more like cross appeal to maybe some typical Democratic voters. But even then, I think a lot of those voters are like, I'm not going to waste my vote here, right? Like I'm going to ensure Trump doesn't become president again. So I don't think, and I don't like the idea of blaming voters or whatever. It's just, I don't know. It's on parties to appeal and do what they can. Of course, you can play this math and be like, well, if these voters voted for this person, it's just, no one knows who that person would have voted for if that candidate wasn't there. Like, it's just a weird game to play. But
here's what I will say: 2028, if Cornel runs in like an open Democratic Party primary where there's no incumbent, I think that he could be the next Bernie. Honestly, are they going to try to rig it against him? Of course. They're going to
at the same time,
being a Democrat.
He's so much of like an activist and a philosopher and like an author. He's so much of like other things that he doesn't feel like a politician to me. Like you know what I mean? I don't, I love the guy, but I don't think that's where his strengths are in doing like Bernie's a lifelong politician. It's much different. He knows how to, work the game. I think it'd be tough for Cornel West
even he
to
screwed up with his campaign a number of times. It's
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Last chat.
Prairie Fire, $2. Blue cheese is the greatest. I don't think I've ever had blue cheese, or I don't remember having it.
It's very, very pungent.
I heard that it's vomity.
It's good. It's good if you like chicken wings and like hot wings.
See, I don't.
But even then, I tend to just eat. Oh my god, I love chip. If there's one food I could eat for the rest of my life, it's probably chicken wings.
Really?
I love chicken wings. That or like any Mexican food. Like I love
Mexican food
burritos,
is
fajitas, tacos, all that shit.
Oh yeah.
But
we got a couple more.
What? Oh my god, they're popping out of nowhere. Who's this for?
One of you two.
Oh, it's for me. Look at that. Kowalski, Biden, great president or greatest president? I mean, I've already said my feelings on this, and it got me in trouble with some people. But it's the truth. When you take into account the bar for presidents is on the floor, Joe Biden's up there in modern times. Like
bad president, but great in comparative
top three
terms.
Top three,
especially
honestly,
like the way the NLRB has been under him. Like, yeah, I mean, he's definitely, I think.
Better than Obama, hands down.
Yeah.
He nearly ended the drone war. Obama increased it. So, I mean, that alone says a lot.
You can, in no way argue that Biden is not surprised. Like, everyone thought Biden would just be, who we knew Biden as historically. He was very surprising, I think, from a left-wing perspective, just in terms of the shit that he has actually done and fought for. And I don't know, like, if you ask me, like in 2020, is he left or is he to the left or right of Hillary? I'd say to the right. Now it's clearly he's to the left of Hillary Clinton.
Right.
At least in terms of how she ran.
Yeah.
I think he's also proof that some people do as they get older go the other direction and change for the better. They get maybe more compassionate.
I think
maybe he just doesn't fucking care. He's
That's
at that
what
age
it is.
where he's just like he's always sort of had this like blue collar bona fides about him, and now at this and he sort of lost that over the years as a politician, even though he would constantly bring it up. But I feel like now at his age, he's sort of just like, fuck it, I'm going back to who I am, like who I was or whatever.
This is an argument that I made before he was elected, and I should go back and find these clips because it turns out I was correct. I argued that he's always been somebody who moves with the wind. Whatever is popular, that's kind of the direction he moves in. So he has a really shady, especially 90s, like all those clips of him. But everything he was fighting for then was popular at the time, right? Like in polling. Mm-hmm. And so I argued, like, he's a guy who's going to try to be more popular. He wants to be popular. He's a politician in that sense. So he'll try. He's not going to obviously do everything he needs to get done, but he will try to move in a direction that makes him more likable to people. And that's what he has done at least in some ways.
Someone pointed out that Biden promised he'd be a one-term president, and that's true, he did, and he shouldn't have promised that.
No, he lied
because
for sure.
Because he lied 100%. But I also think that like it's not just him who doesn't want him to who doesn't want him to be a one-term president. It's the Democratic Party. It's usually a slam dunk for incumbents. Like you have to really fuck up to not have to get your 2 terms as president. So to actually be the party that wins the presidency, and then your guy is just like, I'm just gonna do it once, and so you have to worry about a more even matchup in just 4 years instead of 8, and you don't have a bench because they don't. Democrats do not have a bench. No. I'm pretty sure that like even if he wanted, even if like in the background he was like, I'm a one-term president. You got to believe the Democratic Party was like, the heads of the party, the bigwigs were like, we really need you to run again.
Yeah. We got a few more. My goodness. Who's this for? Rory?
This is from me. $7.99. Thank you, Rory. The cult followings unleashed by Sneeko and Russell Brand are examples of the propagandist effect of repeat visual messaging by alt-right podcasters. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there.
Narrator, I loathe Biden personally, but can't possibly argue he's been the best since maybe Carter or even maybe FDR. Wait, are you saying that you would argue that? Because I think you left the word out. Because otherwise the I loathe Biden personally, but doesn't make sense. Because then you go ahead and say you wouldn't say he was the best. I think you left the word out. Yeah.
Fly Chomper Fly. How can you thank Biden good for undoing his mess? Well, which mess are we talking about here? The fact that he's done anything, I guess is right. For me, I think maybe the biggest disappointment is that he didn't get back into the Iran deal, or apparently didn't really have to try to.
Yep.
That seems like a no-brainer. So yeah, no, he's of course it's a given. You're watching Leftist Mafia. Of course, we've all criticized him 1,000 times. He has a shit ton of issues.
Listen,
but in terms
I'm pissed.
Of, like, expectations, right? Like.
Yeah, my student loans start on October 1st. I've got that dread in my gut. Like, I wish he would there's no reason. He made a deal with McCarthy to say that they'd resume. There's no reason. Like, don't stick to it. Fuck McCarthy. Why are you, keep pushing that shit back. What the fuck?
So, everything we're saying is just based on expectations, right? It's not.
Right. I expected nothing, jack shit.
All right, that's it. Oh, wait. Jesus Christ, there's more.
Okay, last one.
Yeah, the last one. Who's this for?
I think Matt.
They sent me another one? I didn't even notice. Yeah. Narrator says, I still don't think Biden can beat Trump. A lot of Trump Republicans will fall in line. Worried, sad, scared face.
I'm worried too.
No, I'm not worried. I'm really not worried. I really do think. I mean, we already saw what happens in a Biden-Trump matchup.
Yeah.
Biden.
I'm becoming worried.
Wasn't even close. Democrats won states they haven't won in who knows how long. Like Arizona, Georgia. I mean, come on. I mean, do I think it's going to be this more of a shellacking or even the same level? Probably not, but I still think he's going to win quite comfortably if it is Trump.
I saw Chris Hayes has a really good 8-minute breakdown of this, why we all shouldn't be freaking out, and he makes some good points. And I'm not always going to agree with Chris Hayes, but he brings the data, brings the stats, and it's just like Democrats have been outperforming by far in most of these elections, and
That's true.
he goes to how this was a sign, like in previous elections, how the party would do. So there's some good signs there.
Oh,
Yeah, listen, like I've not been worried once about this. If it's not Trump somehow, then that changes for me. Not because I think one of the other candidates could definitely beat Biden, just because we haven't seen what happens in that matchup.
Yeah.
It throws like it's a wild card. But we've seen what happens in Biden versus Trump, and sure, you could say something different could happen, of course. But then combine that with what David just threw up there about how the Democrats are overperforming in every one of these special elections. And of course, with the midterms in mind too, where they overperformed.
Yeah, and that Trump has 4 indictments and 91 charges.
Right. But also, like, remember,
True.
like, the Democrats are doing so good because of everything that happened under Trump. Like, I really don't think people realize just how much the abortion thing scared even
that's a good point,
non-political people in this country.
Yeah.
It really is a huge issue. Like, maybe we're not talking about it all the time like we were, because obviously the news cycle moves and we move along with it. But for people who don't move at this pace with the news cycle, I guarantee you that abortion issue is still at the top of their mind. And
They pissed off the normies with that.
Yeah, for sure.
We got one more, by the way.
Oh, we got sorry.
Oh, we got a super sticker also.
I think I clicked when you were clicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. 2 super stickers. Thank you, narrator. And then Sally Thompson.
Yeah, thank you, Sally. And Biden has Bernie as the chairman of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Help Committee. That certainly has helped. Nice pun. Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, I'm very, very nervous still about 2024, but I think
it's normal to be because I mean, after Trump,
stakes are so high.
You can never
right?
really take anything for granted.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, honestly, I feel like we have made some positive directions, especially not just because of like Biden being better on certain policies, but because like the NLRB has basically emboldened this massive labor movement. And that right there is really what's going to get things done. You can't have that with, a president who's going to appoint some corporate shill as the head of the NLRB. So that alone, I mean, we've made a lot of progress in that regard. Are we still probably going to die in an apocalyptic hellfire due to climate change? Most likely, but maybe we have a little bit more chance to like stave that off or maybe postpone it. I don't know. But it's not as bad as I thought I was going to be with Biden. I think he's surpassed my expectations because I had 0. The fact that he got out of Afghanistan and nearly ended the drone war is genuinely incredible. And nobody talks about that. I did a video about the drone war and I got shit on for it because I gave Biden credit. But it's like, I'm sorry, the drone war with Obama is what radicalized me in the first place. Like, I was an enthusiastic Obama supporter, and then learning about how many civilians drones were killing, that like completely radicalized me. I was like very against the Democratic Party because I voted for Obama because he was anti-Iraq war. So just Biden not doing drones as much is like a game changer. Like, Trump upped drones by like 430% over Obama. So that alone, I mean, is just incredible. The fact that he reined in drones, I mean, that is huge. That's a massive, massive thing to me. I mean, if you don't know about drones, like, they have not just killed people in like Pakistan and Yemen, but they have given these children PTSD for life. Like, they don't go outside when it's sunny because they hear the buzzing, right? So like that is, I don't think people can understand how huge that is. We can't like really conceptualize how big of a change that is because we don't see it or hear it. But to people in Pakistan, that's huge. So yeah, he deserves massive credit for that.
Yep. All right. That's it.
Oh, really quick. Hold on, really quick. Thank you to Valinova for the 5 community gift subs over at twitch.tv/MattBinder. Really appreciate it.
I have not checked my Twitch. I forgot I was even streaming there. If anyone did anything for me on Twitch, thank you.
Thank you, Twitch people. I thank you at the end of my videos in my outro, so look out for that.
Now, David, I don't think you've ever stuck around this long. So what me and Mike do at the end here is we actually raid the same Twitch person, so they're like bombarded by raids. It's pretty funny if you watch their stream, their reaction sometimes.
It is funny, yeah.
Who
Do
we're
I even
going
have
to
many people here?
Raid.
I got 10 people on Twitch. It's gonna really do
Really?
much. Yeah.
I've got
How about you,
17
Mike?
people.
What? You guys?
What's your number at?
I'm at 62 people watching me over
You
on
must
Twitch.
use Twitch a lot then. I don't use Twitch that often.
I
Well,
use it.
there's
just
a couple. There's Ravana. We should raid Ravana. There's also
Ravana's on
Shark.
right now?
There's actual Jake.
How do
Yeah,
you,
Ravana's on.
how do you raid again? I forget. I'm in the thing now.
Slash raid, right?
Just slash raid. That's it.
Slash raid space and then their screen
okay.
name. There's 2 Y's by the way in Ravana.
Do I not follow Ravana's Twitch channel? Why isn't she showing up on my raid thing? It's very weird.
Is it an at? How do you do the or just put their name?
Just a slash, like a backslash.
Backslash raid and then their name, but is there an at sign before the name or no?
No at sign, just the text name.
How do I even?
Wait, she's offline. That's why it's not showing up.
Oh, well, we've got some other options. There is there's Dylan Burns, Riverboat Jack, Actual Jake, Shark 300, Amy C3, Rational National.
Who's that guy?
Rational National. And you guys pick. I'm good with all those.
We've
Dylan
never
or
rated
Riverboat Jack.
Actual Jake. I don't think. Let's do Jake. He's got a lot of followers on now.
He's good. I know him. How do I? So actual.
So slash raid space Actual Jake.
Spelled like the way it sounds. No space between actual Jake.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if this works.
Watch, he's gonna be leaving soon. Okay.
The
You all
raid has
ready?
been created.
Wait,
all right.
hold on.
Raid now.
Hold on. I'm clicking it. Hold on. I'm pressing start raid. You gotta press it twice. Remember, you press it once to start it, and then when everyone fills up, you press it again.
Yeah. Can I
I've
press
been there.
raid now?
Start.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Raided. There we go. I'm sure he'll feel my 10.
When it's everyone at once, though, it's cool.
I guess, yeah, and it says it.
Yeah.
There we go. 17. I got 12. Hell yeah. 60. All right. Sweet.
He's like a triple.
All right, cool.
There we go. Awesome.
Good show, guys.
Great show.
Take care.
Good
Have
night.
a great night.